Cac?
Yes.
Cedric seemed to be more paranoid than Hanu and more awkward than Zale.
Yes, I imagine that has something to do with his condition.
Yeah, but, I'm pretty sure just between the combination of those two, you almost gave him a heart attack when you kept questioning why you need to be in the zone of truth to be in the room.
Yes, I don't understand what that was about.
I'm pretty sure he just wanted to be able to trust us and only was able to with that spell.
Yes, well, if somebody needs a spell in order to have trust, then that's on them. I don't understand it, I don't care for it, but it is what it is. I gave in to his demands. It's fine.
You do have to remember that this is Avale.
Yes, that
I
doesn't
don't know
mean anything
exactly
to
where
me.
you're from, but bigger cities tend to have more paranoid people.
Doesn't mean anything to me.
I mean, it took me about like 15 years to get this paranoid, so she gives a thumbs up. Yeah, he definitely had to deal with some stuff, if that's his initial reaction. I mean, I usually just do the whole scrying thing. The truth thing might be pushing it, but
Either way, he ended up getting what he wanted, so it's fine, is it not?
Well, I think sometimes when you make it more difficult, it makes things more difficult overall, depending on certain people.
Oh.
Compromise is a valuable skill.
Because if that was Pridwin, I think that would have ruined any chances of anything.
This might be true, but it wasn't him, so we're okay? I think.
I mean, Pridwin kind of did the same thing, it's just a different spell.
Right.
Yes,
But
well,
overall,
different ways.
especially with we won't always know if certain people will be more inclined to like us or not. I just wanted to mention that.
okay. I'll try to keep that in mind for next time, but you're saying if we don't trust someone, we can force them into a spell so that we do trust them?
Depends on why we're having the conversation.
Because I've got to tell you, I don't trust that Pridwin fella. Seems weird and odd, and something about him makes me uneasy. Does that mean that next time we talk to him, we can put him under a spell?
If we know what we're trying to get from him, I guess. And of course, if he subsists to it.
It's all about consent.
And the balance of power. If you feel that you have enough power to justify that request, then go ahead. If they're more powerful than you, what's to stop them from just telling you no and being powerful enough to stop you?
Okay, I think we need to backtrack a lot right now. The basis of what was ahead was just us trying to figure out comfort zones between people. Let's just work small before we have to work into, I guess, quote-unquote interrogation methods, because it feels like we're all pushing a line towards that right now. For right now, we know that there is a man who seems to be extremely scarred. I'm not saying which one is which. So, us establishing the ground rules of what we're comfortable with and what they're comfortable with, we build up from there. We shouldn't really have to go to the point where spells are involved, but considering the circumstances, They had to go there. Let's just not have it go there at all as the norm. At least that's my request.
Seven nuts.
Well, I do agree, and that's partly why I was incredibly confused about that whole scenario. I didn't feel it was necessary. But I understand, and I will do my best to make things, as you put it, less difficult.
I mean, it was also a misunderstanding on his side, too. Because, I mean, that was a very interesting ultimatum. Actually, today has been a very interesting set of ultimatums. I'm going to jot that down in my mind and look at it later about what this precedence was set. But for right now, Kak, you were very intimidating. I mean, not to me, but I'm pretty sure, as a very intense man of science and knowledge of the universe, he was probably intimidating by your mind. It's very sharp. You ask the good questions and you press down. You're like a lawyer. Oh, no, they're called barristers. Yeah, I think that's the term.
I will say, you do, as a group, come across unique, and unique makes nervous people more nervous.
I'm pretty sure he knew, yet you could have outclassed him right off the bat, Kak, and I'll nod to you. Yeah.
Well, either way, I will do my best to keep things as simple as possible for you in the future, if that is what is required.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just a little worried.
About which one? Or just what? There's a lot to be worried about, so...
Yeah. Especially making friends with Frederick, he may actually know. I might ask him about the spell Breadwin put on me.
Well, I wasn't joking. We have two broken people here. In different ways. One with time, and the other, I guess, with time's just a different flavor of time that broke him. Yeah. We ate a lot today, actually, now that I think about it. We ate at Urat, we ate with Nan, we ate with Predwin, and then we ate with Frederick. It's a lot more food than I'm used to. Wow.
I could get used to this.
I mean, I'm honestly just really used to having good berries all the time for the last few months, and maybe a good meal here or there, so that's...
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I would have been able to eat Frederick's food if I didn't work out with Ava a little bit there. Burn some energy.
Yeah,
I would have said Gwen, not Ava.
Yeah. That was a lot of food, actually. Is it always like this over here? And I look over to Eliza and Babette. It's just food right out the door? Left and right?
Well, I mean, there's lots of just fruit everywhere. You can literally just grab it off the walls.
Yeah, I'm used to that, but this was like a whole presentation. Like, does
Yeah,
everybody
depends on the
offer each
people
other
you
dinner?
associate with.
I mean, wow.
I think there's a lot of food around here.
Well then. I wasn't joking. I think I am hitting that point where I think I ate a little bit too late at night and I am kind of sleepy. I have to wake up early in the morning to do my training. Wait, what time are you waking up for to train with Gwen? Glances over to Zarman. Just kind of walks.
Probably around the same time I usually get up in the mornings, if I can help.
I mean, do you want me to wake you up a little bit earlier?
If Gwen's awake, I guess.
Okay. I mean, sometimes I feel like she was awake whenever I was, you know, training on the road, but okay, sure. I'll play it by ear.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta go ask her if she wants to help me water the plants afterwards. Before or after training. I don't know.
That and I'm not sure what you guys have for the immediate future. And Zarma looks at Bobette and Eliza. Do you have any plans for the week, apparently?
Yes,
Now that
I'm
things are slowing down.
apparently going on a vacation.
Eliza glares a little bit. She's like, I'm gonna probably just go see my family.
Hmm.
Oh, could you say hello for me?
Yeah.
I mean, probably before you leave, you can just spend the night with us before we can just send you off. Well, I was thinking about having a get-together, at least with Fee, so we just feel a little bit more comfortable, and then we can send you out the next day.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
Okay. Just a lot of traveling. At least having one constant would be good. But then you also have to make. Well, are your parents always home? Do you know if they're there?
Well, my mom usually is, but my dad might be traveling. He travels a lot.
Oh, okay. She's the baker, right?
Yeah, she likes to bake.
Well, what's her favorite?
She was definitely better than my mother.
Hmm.
She's very into feeding people.
I was looking up at the moon for a bit and turns back. I mean, what's her favorite dish? I'm pretty sure there's a lot of weird. I mean, weird in a good way. A lot of interesting delicacies that Avil has to offer. So, what's the best thing that she has right off the bat? What would she recommend?
Well, she's a big dessert person. My mom, she has a sweet tooth more than anyone I think I've ever met. So she'd probably recommend something simple and make it amazing, like a pie, or probably pie.
I mean, mind if I give you a little bit of gold, and then you can bring one back for the hosts, for
Yeah.
Nan and stuff. Okay.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I don't need gold,
Uh,
but thank you. I'll bring one back.
She looks down to her coin purse and looks back at you and looks around at Aviel. It's like the second time I've offered gold to people, and they don't accept it. What's the point of having it? She says, and underneath her breath for a bit. Okay, yeah, that makes sense, I guess. I mean, yeah, well, I honestly do feel uncomfortable. A gift for a gift. How about this? And she'll reach around and taking out a few necklaces from her shirt and just unlatches one of them. And it's just a small necklace, just with a bunch of small shells and stuff. It doesn't look too intricate and stuff, but I'll at least offer this as a compromise, something from the Coterie Coast.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
She'll love this.
Yep. See, these right over here, and she'll point to tiny spotted shells that are white with little speckles on them, kind of looks like leopard prints. These are actually used as offerings sometimes during certain ceremonies and stuff, so it kind of does catch I think I heard a few people when we were going over to the spell shop say, the good vibes. So I think it'll be a very good vibe to give her.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what this vibe
Appropriate.
check was, but I think this would pass it. Okay.
I am excited to see my mom again. Talking about her makes me want pie.
You
Oh,
might
pie
have to bring me
sounds
back a pie
wonderful.
too.
I'm sure there will be a lot of pies. There usually are.
Gosh, I kind of got a headache, but I don't know if it's because we just met a lot of people or there's a lot of things swimming around in here, but it's been a long day. Even
Indeed
longer.
it has.
Yeah, it's like even longer than going through traveling over and across the continent and stuff.
I find it kind of bad that we think that interacting with people is a harder day than going through a dungeon.
Listen,
It is kind of unnerving. I'll be completely honest.
listen, I constantly insult people. It's like my go-to, so I had to try really hard not to say a few things that I wanted to right off the top of my head. I'm fine with people. It's just keeping myself in check, especially when there's people of power. I wanted to tell that guy off, that dirt guy off, but I couldn't. And it hurt.
Find people of power. I'm just saying, one of the most powerful people. He's still eating off the tray of food that just took.
I know, as I'm also kind of mindlessly chewing off of food that Frederick ate. No, Frederick was fine, it's just... Fredwin. And then there's this news guy who wants to reveal secrets, which, I mean, that's good and all, but it just makes me uncomfortable on a certain level. Don't know. Considering I found out Yes. I found out that I'm...
kind of like the dirt guy. A
You-
funny hat.
It was a lot. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, since I've discovered my connection with Nuth, I'm still trying to balance that out. I'll figure it out in the end. But knowing that social interactions are a little bit heavier for some people in the group, I'll glance over to Zarman to see how he's doing. Yeah.
It's fine.
You know that phrase, I usually say it when I want people to not talk to me about stuff. And I'm exhausted.
I'm fine.
So we can talk later. She'll dramatically look over.
Oh, it's nothing.
So,
Just
this,
thinking about things.
this outing, Arthur, what should I pack? I pack clothes? I'm thinking clothes. Anything else? Maybe some
Taking clothes
knives?
is
You
normally
have
a good
other
idea.
clothes.
Maybe some daggers? You know, maybe
Oh.
some, like, oil flask?
I
mean,
mean, this is
Alcohol.
going to be a relaxing time.
Yes, but pack all the stuff you normally pack. Just very casual.
Okay. God, I actually have those casual clothes though. So I would go up to his room, start kind of packing, while mumbling, "Casual, casual, casual." Okay, casual. Okay.
2 other sets of clothes.
2 sets of clothes. Okay.
I guess I better go find myself some clothing. Mine's all at the bottom of the river.
I've been meaning to talk to you about that. Should we be expecting this place to go crashing down?
Sorry, backing up my car. No, I think that we lost them.
And who exactly is them?
That is a very good question.
Oh yeah, Arthur wasn't there for that
Automatically
conversation.
assume.
Oh,
What was
yeah.
that?
Zarman says, "Oh yeah, Arthur wasn't there for that conversation. We'll tell you when we get back."
Mm-hmm. And Babette kind of looks over at Eliza and like side eyes her.
She's glaring at you.
Right now, and Zale's up in his room and shit now, packing clothes. Everybody's walked in through the front doors. It's late at night. There's a few low-lit oil lamps along the walls and the staircase leading up, and unlit on the table in the kitchen beyond the beaded curtain. Those of you that run upstairs through the attic, it's really dark in there. So to cast a little bit of magical lighting to be able to see, and using just little orbs of magic light, these towering structures of stacked furniture 2 stories up inside of this attic. It's teetering, and it makes the alleys that you kind of walk through to get towards the little nook you've managed to carve out of organization. A few beds and some wardrobes that you've confirmed and killed all the spiders in of, except for the ones that have been purposely placed there. And you have the evening to kind of get prepped for whatever your week's plans are. And to finish up, of course, any conversations y'all would have for separating on y'all's plans.
Yep. After some time in the night, I will tug Zarman aside, but if anybody else wants to interact with her, she's up for some talking.
Don't sound like it. Pull me aside.
Alright, yeah, I'll tug Zarman after a bit. Be like, okay. Yeah, you didn't answer me on the way back though, but you wanna take a rest tomorrow? Like, do some fishing and we can actually recollect and discuss things privately?
I was planning on continuing learning how to cook. Maybe write a letter to Frederick, see if he would want to meet up.
Yeah, I was actually gonna offer, because I want to figure out how to do some carving stuff so we can, I think the term is called window shop for like mentors and stuff. Because I need to do wood carving and you want to do cook, so there has to at least be some artisan place here. Culinary and sculpting. But you know, just a quick lunch break, you know? Lunch fish.
Yeah, I've been struggling to learn from the book, personally.
Honestly, some people are better off not learning from the book, because, as I told you before, you feel it inside, you know? Deep down, you have to... Well,
It's also, I'm afraid, half the time when I'm learning with Arthur, because he's trying to stick a knife deep down, too.
That could be it. And it's all about the teaching method. But also about the source of joy. So what brings you joy with cooking?
I just want to see other people smile.
Okay. I mean, is Arthur smiling as he's trying to do that?
Arthur smiling, you're funny.
Okay. Yeah, I was very concerned for a moment, but I mean, does he get bored when he's learning to cook with you?
Yeah.
Well, I can talk to him about it later. I can...
Well, I mean, I'm not too worried about it, personally.
Oh, she's cracking her knuckles right now. I was actually gonna show him how to cook up some good knuckle sandwiches, but okay. Sure. And you also get the motion that she's probably not gonna really say anything too much about, to Arthur about it if you don't want her to. But, I mean, Do you do you enjoy it when people see the food, or like do you enjoy it just that they can experience it? Like what gives you joy with that?
I just want to be able to do something that isn't just fighting.
I mean, knitting's also something that's useful. It makes people warm.
Well, I'm not the most dexterous of people.
Mm. Mm. Did you enjoy any particular type of fruit growing up? Give you comfort? Because they usually call it soul food and comfort food for a reason.
Simon's thinking hard about it, and he's obviously going to be drawing a blank.
I mean, the one good thing that I can tell about food is that it always brings people together, no matter what place they are, grew up in the world. Everybody gets hungry, and everybody will put aside their differences to just talk about what's good to eat. I mean, we just had, like, as I counted before, 5 instances of that, so do you eventually want to do that too? Just make a big feast for everyone?
I think that'd be good.
Yeah, that's always good. I mean, that's kind of what my uncle used to do a lot, so we can find a way. So let's go find somebody in town. I can ask around first to narrow it down, and then we can pick mentors from there.
Sounds good.
Okay. Because, I mean, you're going to get a lot of people who cook by the book, but then you get people who have grandma's cooking. They always know what's right. They look at a person and say, no, this isn't a formula. I'm going to cater it to this person's heart. And she gently pokes her right in the sternum. You can't get that knowledge out of a book, no matter how hard you try.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And she rubs her forehead a bit and scratches her nose and just pats you on the shoulder. Probably.
Well, we're waking up early tomorrow anyway.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to you about a few things next week. I gotta sort things up in my head before I, There's a lot. I'm gonna talk to you next week, okay? Okay. She gives a very brief side hug and then goes to her room, where she's sharing with a few people. I don't know who.
That night, imagine Arthur was waiting his turn because Armin said he would tell him what the fuck happened with that noise.
Yeah, because this could have happened before or after that, so.
Yeah, I'm just getting out of my car, so.
Yeah, so I'm guessing that would have happened like the last thing.
Yeah, no, Arthur would have like seen you guys kind of pulling aside for a conversation, and he would have just like given you like a look like, all right, you know, meet me when you're done, and he would have just ascended up the staircase upstairs, just stopping by in the kitchen for just a moment to grab a couple of the beers that Nan had told him were there, and goes upstairs to the top with Babette. It would be a bit of a slow trek through, because neither he nor her have dark vision. And so going up through the mess of darkened alleys with just the dim light in between a couple of them from Zale's magic, and Cax as well, I'm assuming, as he's there probably tending to his
Yeah, I might.
spiders.
I have the fae fly flying around with light around me. So it's shedding pretty good light.
And you would, from where you're at, like, it's imagine like the darkest library you've ever seen, but instead of tall bookshelves, it's teetering stacks of furniture, right? right? And it is really dark in here. The only bit is just a little bit of moonlight that peeks through these massive windows. They go up 3 stories, as tall as the furniture almost goes in some places. And a bit of the moonlight peeks through like the rows of furniture and the dappling of the tree that's in the back garden. And so it's this soft silver bluish light in between really dark shadows of rows and twisting aisles of odd bits of furniture that's stacked up to impossible heights. And as you're kind of like lying there on the bed, or placing or gathering your stuff upon the bed, a little fey light kind of floating around you with its soft orange glow. You can see like the moonlit silhouettes of Babette and Arthur following up the spiral staircase that cuts all the way through to the roof. And Liza was gathering her stuff as well. So you would also be able to see it from like a bed, like in the middle of like this really dark library kind of setup of broken stacked furniture. There are a few beds that you have managed to pull aside out of all of it, one for each of you. And there's a couple of furniture that kind of makes the walls around the side of it. You actually have cleaned the drawers out of to place your stuff inside of. You're kind of going through these drawers, taking your stuff out and preparing for the trip. As you watch them rise up to the top, and a few moments later, you would also see Hanu and Zarman rise up to the top. I don't know if you were following Zarman up to go have the conversation with Arthur to explain what the hell about that, or if you were stopping off.
I mean, Hanu's just following anyways. She's just gonna go to wherever she's gonna be lounging.
Cool.
Eliza is going to bed as well.
Yeah, and I figured Bobette's paranoid ass is probably going up to see what's Arthur going to be talking about.
That's just a fair assumption.
Thea will go up with you as well. Kind of like you can see, like at this point in time, she's honestly like rubbing her eyes a little bit, but she's like also way too curious to like not like pay attention to this. But you can tell that she probably doesn't stay up like past like 8 o'clock or something most days, and it's like midnight now.
Okay, yeah. Seeing that, I'm gonna also just help her up. So I'll just stick close to her side and walk up with her. Going into protective older sibling mode.
I know every creak and stop in this place. Just trips over one of the loose boards.
Okay, I will definitely note that that is something to keep my eye out of. That's really good. Okay.
And as you make it up to the top of the roof patio with the vine canopy and the now fixed telescope, 2 little chairs, Arthur is sat in one of the chairs and taking a drink out of his beer and set it up against it. His rifle is laid across the top of the wall behind him. He's kind of just been looking at you, Babette, with like straight eyes. And so there's a brief moment before they come up here where he's just like looking at you. You want to approach that?
Leans against the wall, arms crossed, and waits for the others. You know, just kind of casually looking at him.
Alright. Good, good, good.
Okay. Eliza wasn't able to give much detail, but apparently Valente blew up your apartment building?
I mean, that was more panicked jumping to conclusions than anything else. Because I just had a conversation about him with an old coworker. I don't actually know what the hell happened. I just know that I'm now homeless.
Old co-worker. Reed. Handler.
Excuse me?
Carry on.
Oh damn.
Waiting suspects.
Okay. Anyway, what happened to you before talking with Bridwin?
I don't know how much Eliza told you, but
Something
essentially,
about a bunny girl? I still don't get it.
I don't think I do either.
Wait, you guys
We.
fought a druid?
No, she was just in costume.
Oh. It's weird. Okay.
Yeah,
Fought a girl in costume.
I didn't actually fight her. It was more running away and hiding. You sounded like you might know what that means.
No, it just sounded like when measured against the other strange things that have happened in the last 48 hours. Suddenly people in bunny costumes don't faze me.
That's fair. And I mean, it was at a masquerade event, so it made
Oh.
sense for her to be in costume.
Okay. For a moment, I also thought she was one of those, what is they called, vigilantes? Because I always were hearing that they have to wear a mask. But
You must read some interesting novels.
I mean, it's at the corner store right over there. I just saw it with like a comic book, but okay.
Yeah, essentially, someone blew up my house, and then I believe they sent this bunny masked girl to chase me, kill me, kidnap me, who knows? But we escaped. We managed to shake her off. She knew where I lived, but she doesn't know what else I do.
No, Eliza was with you, so Eliza's
Yeah.
probably also being chased now.
Fortunately, I was able to give her some aid in changing her appearance, but I don't know how much they saw before that.
And so this is why you want to go on vacation and Eliza wants to be back up with old family.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I mean, it was inevitable. I needed a good, proper vacation that doesn't end with ships exploding. And Eliza was probably going to visit her family anyway, so it's just good timing.
Just want you to be aware that during this vacation, we've now tripled our chances something going terribly wrong before we get to finish it.
I'll
And that's
be
you. Things go for us.
someone new for the vacation. It'll be hard to find me.
Fair.
This isn't a
However,
common occurrence for me. I'm very hard to track down.
But yeah, now that Eliza's involved, if you find out anything more about why that happened, let us know.
Oh, for sure. I definitely don't want anything happening to her.
I mean, is she able to like have her parents send like a car or a train there? Because her traveling by herself to her parents kind of makes me uneasy too. By
One of
yourself?
you isn't going with her? I thought
She didn't ask.
Liza.
So yeah,
Yes, we'll have to track down an escort for her.
that's why I'm concerned. I mean, I did offer her to at least stay one night with us so then we could make sure she's safe, but can't really do that if she's going. Okay, whatever.
I have a question about your sending spells.
Mm-hmm.
If I was to change myself to look like the person, speak in their voice, would you be able to, would that be enough of an anchor for you to send to them?
Would it be?
Because we could then contact her family.
I mean, she already
And
knows
have
what her,
someone.
she knows what her, we've met her parents and her sisters before.
Both parents? Okay.
At least
Baba
her
doesn't know
father
that.
We-
and her
father,
siblings.
at least.
Yeah.
For a moment, I was just like thinking you were asking
Yeah, I
about
thought it
somebody
had
else.
just been the father. So.
Okay. No, I also thought you were asking about somebody totally different. I'm like, I don't know, would that
No.
work? But okay, yeah, gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I could
Yeah, it'll be
do that early in the morning.
a few years younger, but yes.
No, I remember. He told some really weird. Like, I'm saying weird a lot. I mean weird. You know, she just says something quickly in Aquan, and it's just like, you know, when you go to a different tide pool and it's just different creatures. So it's a new
You guys
experience.
seem to find a lot of things here weird, and that's understandable.
If things were not weird, I'd be very concerned. That means I've seen the world and I've understood it all.
That's very profound, Hanu.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, I can go send some word to her father. And
Well, I was thinking whoever she thinks might be at her.
well, she was saying
estate.
her ma. So
Yeah, so I could look like her mother.
okay, so then I'm gonna have to definitely write down what I'm gonna say because I also don't want that whole thing to happen. She'll glance over to Fee a little bit, who's probably like a sleepy, bleary-eyed little druid right now.
Also, Chance, I'm going off the assumption that, like, sending is something that it wouldn't be completely jarring to a lot of people in Allvale.
Yeah, no, not completely jarring. They do find it a little rude.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, time appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
They find it rude. If it's not like an emergency, people seem to find it usually rude. You could have sent like a letter, you know.
But you know,
Okay.
securing Eliza's safe return to her house might be considered an emergency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To Babette, this is an
Doing
emergency.
things that are important, you know, people tend to excuse it.
Okay. So, she said she's a baker, and bakers usually, she's probably cooking for, I should have asked Eliza this, but they usually have
I
a
feel
very
like
strong schedule, so I can ask her early in the morning when she's in the middle of cooking things, maybe.
I do feel we should confirm this idea with Eliza first.
Of course, yeah.
It is her mother.
Mm-hmm. I thought you guys, and she makes a few gestures, like you guys can't read each other's minds? Oh, okay.
It got close to that before we parted our ways, however long ago, but
okay.
not technically.
She also makes a few other gestures, like rolling waves. I thought you guys were both riding the same wave too, but okay.
Squint.
How about this? Wavelength. Yes. Is that it? Then she
I
hesitates
I think I get it.
She also hesitates a long moment. Huh. Anyways, okay. I just realized, okay. It's been a long time since I said that phrase, but okay.
You all are such fascinating people.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a long time since
think
I've met someone this interesting.
I think
Oh,
I'm gonna
try-
retire for the evening now.
Yes, sleep is probably best. I'll probably want to get at least a change of clothing before we head out, but that can be done on the way to the train station.
Oh yeah, are you guys gonna need any funds for what you're doing, or?
No,
I
I
have
have some
reservations.
stuff. Oh. And twice the fun.
Zerman nods before heading downstairs.
Yeah, there wouldn't be any shops open.
No, not at this hour.
I mean, you could just buy stuff while you're there.
Yeah, true.
Yes.
Does anybody in
Yes.
the party have prestidigitation?
Cactus.
Yeah,
think.
and
Something
I think
What do you
Alrighty.
mean?
I think. I don't know. I'm making assumptions now. Oh no.
I mean,
He
he's
totally
he's used
Yeah.
this harmon.
he's used it.
There could have been something else.
Yeah.
We never know with
But
Cac.
Babette has seen CAC use prestidigitation is more what I'm
Yeah.
asking. I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure.
Mhm.
I mean, you
Yeah.
think
So before she goes to bed, I think so. Probably at some point in our travels.
I mean, when Cat casts,
Basically,
kinda
what I'm
weird.
saying is Babette's gonna go. Yeah, Babette's gonna go up to CAC and ask if he can like clean her up and get rid of the smell because she did swim
sure,
through the canals.
sure, bam.
Thank you,
just
good
get,
sir.
like, a bunch of little like disembodied tentacles that just sort of like slither across your body, cleaning you and extracting the smell.
Yeah, unless anybody has a passive insight of 20, they can't see that she is very uncomfortable.
Okay.
It's like that should do it.
Thank you.
Is there something else needed?
No, I just didn't want to smell like the Canal District when I went to bed.
Yeah, that's fair.
Alright. I'll poke at Fee's cheek to see how she's standing right now.
I'm okay.
What?
You're most certainly the most interesting people Anne has ever had stay here.
Mhm. Pretty sure you're probably the most interesting person here, too. Come on, you want a piggyback ride?
Jumps up onto your back.
Alright. Stabilize her, and then I look around to the group. Like, are we all heading in for the night?
Babette nods.
Okay.
Sorry, I was eating.
Oh yeah. Alright. How about you two sleepyheads? She glances over to Simon and Arthur.
Simon already left.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
Arthur's just there, probably
Okay.
being stoic as always.
How about you, Mr.
Yep, he's gonna stay up there on that roof for at least another hour. Or he finishes slowly that beer of his.
Alright, yeah. I'm just gonna walk over slowly to him to stand by his side and be like, how about you, Mr. Krabby Cake? You got a full night of staring off into the distance.
Oh yeah. Just preparing myself. It's gonna be one hell of a week.
I don't want to alert you, but I'm pretty sure you're insightful enough, but I'm pretty sure Zale and Babette have extremely unorthodox social skills. So you definitely have your work cut out ahead of you.
Turns and he looks at you with just like a oh, really?
I know, it's kind of obvious, so I do not envy you at all with what you're about to face.
Somebody in the paradox has unorthodox social skills, you say?
Mm-hmm.
I'll see what I can do. I mean, I've been called a miracle worker. Usually it's a rifle, but
Ah. So you're up for the challenge then?
promise this much.
Mm-hmm.
None of us are gonna forget this week.
Okay.
It goes for you too. I may not be here. I don't know if there wasn't any fun happening here while I was gone. The moment I walked through this door,
Okay. Well, I mean, I could be pretty boring, so I'll try my best to do that.
this is either a house of fun or you're behind bars somewhere. Promise me, Hanu.
She'll look out across the horizon for a bit and give him a pat on the shoulder. You also take care of yourself too, okay? Do you have something fun you want to do out there? Like anything else interesting you're looking forward to?
Oh, did you know that whoever was living here was spying at Pridwin's place? Strong stalker vibes going on with Nan. Anyways, continue.
I'm pretty sure Nan is the most powerful person that we will come across in quite some time. I'm pretty sure Nan already knows everything she knows about Pridwin that is to be known. So whoever else was here, that's totally on them. I don't know, I don't think it was Nan, but anyways, she ruffles his hair. There are a lot of secrets to be unveiled here, so we'll see what we find. But don't just shepherd these two awkward crabs. You also need to shepherd yourself, okay? Oh, chaperone. Chaperone, okay.
Mistake.
That's the word. Chaperone, not
This
chaperone.
entire weekend is purely for my entertainment.
Oh, okay then. I knew you'd find some.
Your laughter is contagious.
Mm-hmm. Alright, well, gives him a little shoulder bump, and then she turns around to go downstairs.
Oh my god, I am dying laughing
Notice
right now.
he's gonna be peeking through the telescope and now be spying on Pridwin's house with the telescope. Like,
I don't know who was spying on Predwin, but somebody was. Starts looking through it.
Yep.
Exactly.
Well, it definitely was not Nan. She can see everything.
and has strong stalker vibes.
I'm pretty sure Pridwin has a telescope pointed at this place. Is in the back of Hanu's mind too, so whatever. Okay. I will just gently wrap Fee up to go to sleep.
Alright, as you all settle in, let's see. Hack, what is your plans for this week of downtime? Next morning, everybody's rushing off. Half the group is evidently going to a spa. Evidently, Eliza is going off to visit family. Find yourself, stuck around the house with Zarman and Hanu, and your new hosts, Hoenn mostly napping his way through it. What are you doing?
Honestly, unless someone else has something specific to do with CAC, he's just going to spend his whole time working on his project.
Perfect.
I might.
Reading and fiddling with things and weird sounds and noises coming from the room.
Just to clarify, remind me on that. Where are you in your downtime of weeks on progress for that?
So how many days do we have here?
Here you're gonna have 5.
5? That would put me on 23 of 31.
Okay, perfect.
Days or of weeks?
It's in days. Yeah.
Yes.
That's weird. That's fun.
And so that will be doubled because of your time also spent studying that pickled drake that you have. It causes you to have a couple of breakthroughs about the method of things that you're planning on doing, and you're not quite certain exactly how you're going to implement it, but you're fairly certain that that was a big contributor towards it, and so it doubles your progress that you earned. So you earned 10 days instead.
All right, so I'll be on 28 of 31. Excellent.
All right.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
And Zarman, you were spending that time to learn cooking, right?
Yep. And
How far?
also, I'm only 4 out of 9 weeks into it. This will just put me at 5 out of 9.
Okay.
And amongst that time, Zarman would write a letter to Frederick of detailing, or just in general, just asking about the spell cast on him by Prodwin, and if he would have any free time before or after Zale actually spends that time. And Zarman will write that letter and send it.
If you send that letter or write that to me at some point in time over the next week, that'd be actually a good side thing to do between the week and now, actually, because he would want to respond. To prolific letter writer, and so with that. I need Babette and Zale. I need you both to roll a D10 for me.
Something I forgot to mention. Also, do I get an hour of just training with Gwen every morning?
Yes.
Okay.
So D10, right?
Alright. That got a 6, Zale got a 4. Alright. Beautiful. So, you set out the next morning and make your way to Sante Debut. He actually insists on seeing you off to the train because she loves the train station. And said that she would actually ride out to the next village with you, but she has deliveries that she's got to do somewhere else. And so she waits there early for you guys for your train to go off, and you see her waving with her bicycle loaded with flowers and herbs, and a little while later she'd get on a train heading in a different direction. As you make your way across and through these aisles, they're red velvet seats and wood mahogany. They're wide aisles in the center, wide enough for these trolleys to be able to be pushed through. And the seats aren't really arranged forward facing. They're facing the windows, long couch seats with a table in front of them. And as you kind of sit yourselves at one of these long couch seats, somebody sitting next to you moves their coaster with a wine glass just a little bit to the closer to them and away from you, apologizing. Oh dear, excuse me. Let me tidy up here a little bit. and he puts a newspaper to the side and folds it over, and you can see like a brief headline about the declaration that Yellum joins the war. Is the headlines in bold.
So
Can you?
At the
All right. So, key number 1 is putting a lot of physical distance between you and bullshit. Trains are one of the best inventions that anybody has ever come up for with this, aside from perhaps airships. My favorite part of this is being a very cool intoxication as you also get further and further away from the source of your grief. Observe. And he kind of like, the trolley person comes over and he's like, 30 whiskeys on the rocks, glasses of water on the side with lemon in them. Thank you. And, and the person with the trolley like nods and goes on by. And there's seating. There's like little places to put your baggage, like in cubbies underneath the bench seating that you've got. And as he sits there, he kind of just stretches his arms out wide, and he looks at you, Zael, and you, Babette, and he's like, "Neither one of you look relaxed. You're terrible at this."
We just sat down, my dear. And then she kind of imitates him a little bit.
so kind of breathe out a little bit and just kind of like slump back.
That's sad. I mean, look at that. In about 15 minutes, a building from the train station is going to be the size of your thumbnail. Which means that most of the city beyond it could be pinched between your fingers, like snap. I like to just sit back and imagine, nice if I could just snap my fingers and all my problems were just gone. And then let out that sigh, resign myself for the rest of my vacation to the fact that life isn't a fucking fairy tale, and we make the fun happen. And then it's like the glasses get pulled over and brought down. To making the fun happen, we can. Hands you each a glass, holds it up to cheers.
So I can like, yeah, cheers.
Yeah, Babette cheers, and she is going to nurse that glass of whiskey.
So downs it.
Saving throw.
Oh, that's a ability check, but the same thing. 18.
Yeah. Got wolves indigestion.
I kind of like look at Arthur wide-eyed at that guy. Look at him and Babette. Be like, I guess that's a strange analogy for that.
No, is it?
Babette acts like she has no idea.
Well, is anything else to do on the train except for drinking?
It sounds like drinking is the main goal for you, Arthur.
It's more a slow process of allowing myself space and peace, and then That way, I have enough room for all of the activity that usually comes afterwards. There will be drinking in between that activity, but you should pace yourself better than that, Sal.
Well, just for that one. Actually, since it's my first time being on a train, thought about exploring. Can I do that?
Yeah. Alright. Yourself food somewhere in the back. If you go far enough to the front, then I'll probably shoot you. So that's exciting.
Gotcha, so don't go too
Babat
far.
actually chuckles at that one.
So don't go far to the front. Okay. And Zoe would get up and start kind of exploring the train. It's like we're heading.
Do an investigation check. And while you're kind of walking up and down the alleys, Arthur, just glancing across the side of this couch in front of this rolling landscape of hearth vine and farm fields, and now all of a sudden you can see the coast coming up, and he shakes his head. So, for freelance, I've put that much together. And I'm cool with freelance. Freelance puts food on the table. Life is life. But in order for us to actually be able to have fun this weekend, neither one of us has to think that potentially the other is going to kill them whenever they let their guard down. So, I figured we could trade secrets.
Babat kind of looks over at the person who's sitting next to us. And then looks back at Arthur.
They scooted to the side.
Oh, they scooted pretty far away. Okay, I thought they just kind of shuffled a little.
No, they grabbed their stuff up and moved it over to the side. There's a lot of seating space around here. But Zale being from the coast, I imagine the idea of sitting farther away from people is something people from the south do, so I just assumed he sat next to someone.
Yeah. It goes on that.
Okay, so then, yeah, Babette would just be like, well, you know one of mine already.
And you know one of mine. We've traveled through time, or they would like to call it.
I'm still having a hard time wrapping my head around that one.
Yeah, it's a lot easier if you just don't try. It usually doesn't help you. There's some sort of connection between time and fate, and all I translate out of that is that give it enough time, and fate will end up making you go through some timey bullshit again.
Chance, would you be able to turn down the music a little bit? I'm just having a hard time hearing.
Previous individual volume control shit.
I think it's
No, it's I
playing
can
through
hear it
some
in
by
yours.
speakers. Actually, I don't know who.
Oh, got you.
Yeah, no, she's hearing it every time you talk, and it's
Yeah.
blasting up your voice.
A little bit lower, maybe. It's the high notes that really catch on the audio.
Headphones are almost done. charging. They were just on for an hour.
Yeah, it's good now though.
Right.
So what was that last thing you said?
I guess pretty much the gist of it comes to there's some connection between time and fate. All I translate that nerd talk to is if you give it enough time, fate will eventually find a way to fuck you.
If you believe in it, that sounds like, if I believed in it, that sounds like the kind of viewpoint I'd have.
Oh. Those.
What was that? Sorry.
Oh. You're one of those.
You're
Look,
surprised.
I'm all for the idea of taking control of your own destiny. You believe is right for you. Trust me. Even longer than a couple of weeks. Realize really quickly. Sometimes fate doesn't care whether or not we believe.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm not in control of my own destiny. I just don't think it's fate that's in charge. That's just powerful people that are in charge.
Yeah, powerful people. I keep hearing that tossed around a lot. Anu said the same thing. Powerful people. Looks out the window at the city kind of fading. Don't look so powerful to me. Not with this much distance. Not with this little time. Elf. 1,000 distances, 1,000 times. God. Yeah. There usually is someone with power at top. I just don't think it looks like any of this. Gestures around. All of this to help you feel better. I gotta milk every last little bit of it for what it's worth.
Well, now we know each other's views on fate.
Yeah, suppose we do. So, what are your views on betrayal? That's kind of a murky concept in line of business, so I'm just wondering where exactly does the line get drawn? You seem to have a pretty close relationship with Liza. Is it close enough to not cross that line?
Eliza does indeed hold a special place in my heart. I honestly haven't given it much thought. but I doubt I'd do anything to hurt her. At least intentionally, based on the fact that my house blew up on her. Clearly, I'm capable of unintentionally hurting her.
I'm going to assume that by your, to most of the events since leading this group, that your house exploding isn't exactly a normal day in your line of business.
No, it tends to be a bit more subtle. You know, there's rules. Things that we'd all tend to follow without speaking about it.
Some would call it common sense.
Some would. And some would call breaking it desperation.
I was about to say the same thing.
For such a strange, pardon the phrasing, but backwater kind of group, you seem to be a bit more worldly than the rest of them.
Oh yeah, I grew up in the future, was raised in the past, was a bounty hunter through time for a little while, you know, regular. And so
yeah.
fast forward your experience a bit.
Yes, but now that I have a concept of time not being necessarily just a thing that happens, you seem to have also had experience outside of their little island area.
I have less experience outside of time loops. I do inside of at this point.
Any interesting places you've been in those loops?
Are you fishing for clues about the future? If you are,
Shit about the future. I just want to know what places you've seen.
I've seen a lot. I've seen a world tournament hosted in the middle of the world's greatest storm. That was something. Koiko Krakens were taking the world tournament. And Dad, us, central seats, right underneath the maelstrom, underneath Maiko's wrath and everything. Craziest thing I've ever seen.
That sounds exhilarating.
Other than that, I've mostly been to places that are either too hot, too cold, too dry.
Never bothered to learn the name of the place? Because you were going to be gone in a bit?
Oh no, I mean, learned plenty of names. It's just, I feel like it would be a really long story.
Well, we do have a little bit of time. You can tell it to me over the course of the weekend or the week.
Yeah, I guess as things come to mind. Zale,
Yes.
kind of food thing. You see they're mostly selling bagels and like baked goods that are stuffed with various types of fruit and you tea, tea and as well coffee. Um,
It's
but
coffee. So like ponders about the coffee, like that coffee. So he's just wondering, what is this? Hmm.
it
It's
is bitter and terrible.
Uh, yeah. So kind of just like,
Coffee too, so it's like the worst first experience to have had.
yeah. Hmm. So
And
puts it down, like dumps it, puts it back.
um, you've you did notice that uh there had been a couple of people uh whispering towards a like when you walked by down the aisles, you had noticed that there had been a couple of like these two girls, probably about 14, one of them maybe about 15, looks a little bit older, a bit taller. They're pointing at this instrument case, like a large cello case that is propped up against one of these seats. And when you make your way back from having drinking terrible coffee and perhaps gotten a couple of snacks, uh, then you would see that they're still whispering about it. Uh,
Can't listen in. This is
You think
walking
that's
by.
coffee?
I know, it's hers. I know it is. I've seen it. Like, look, you can see the initials right there carved into this case. It's like, that one. It's so beat up. It's not possibly hers. I swear I saw her when she was getting onto the train. It looked just like her. She was like, "Well, we'll wait and see." And they're just a couple of seats down from where you are, actually. So you kind of made your way back and sit down after having like heard them you in passing, but not trying to look too conspicuous like you're listening in. Sit back down with the rest of the group, and they're still kind of obsessive stalker, like watching this corner seat where that instrument is propped up. But nothing else. You can go ahead and give me a perception. Uh,
Yeah, and
if you're mentioning it to Babette or Arthur, then you could possibly.
yeah, Zell would, as he's bringing back, and he'll definitely get something he think Arthur likes. He doesn't know if old Arthur's tastes have changed. He definitely remember some things that old Arthur likes, so he'll try to get what he likes, and kind of give some of the snacks to like Arthur, and then place a couple of Babette. There you guys go. By the way, so just walking. See those two girls over there? Kind of nod my head.
I don't know, Zale. I think they're kind of young.
That's not what I'm talking about. They've been standing there for a while in someone else's guitar case. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Oh, I mean, no, Vale and its bards.
We do love our song.
Hmm.
Um, hey, the bright side. Maybe they'll act as cameo. We're only kind of startup famous right now, so.
That's right. Speaking of that, actually, since you said we don't want to make this whole trip about work. Should I wear something to disguise myself? So I don't look like myself.
No. Just be yourself. Attempt to do others' eyes will be more conspicuous, I promise.
No. By the
Yeah,
way,
unless you can go all out, it's sometimes not worth it to try and disguise yourself.
the coffee in here sucks.
Oh, there's coffee.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
I could use
super
some coffee.
bitter.
I mean, it's coffee.
That's coffee?
Right.
Watch Arthur go.
And with that, he'll grab that stuff. The rest of the trip, he kind of just sip on coffee. He actually brings like some sugar and cream and stuff into the coffee because he doesn't know how you guys are going to take it. And you go, "Oh my god, you can put things in it." And,
Sounds like really surprised. Like, wait, you can put stuff in this? Puts like extra cream, extra sugar.
uh, you sip on that stuff, get like a slight little morning buzz going. It is about like 11 o'clock by the time you reach the town of Baudelaire. It is an idyllic French coastal town. I mean, it is just these quaint little tiny homes that are very narrow all along the coast that kind of stagger up and down along hillocks and stuff. I mean, the whole thing looks like it probably should have fallen off the cliff like 600 years ago, but love has kept it standing. And
Love
it's got
it.
quaint and the train kind of rides in. You actually pull past. You can see a bunch of campfires up just outside of town. In the middle of it, one of them looks like a gypsy tent, right? And around it are just a bunch of wagons, right? So you see kind of like a gypsy carnival tent, and a bunch of wagons circling around it.
That looks at it very
and,
nostalgically.
There is distracted. Doesn't notice.
Is this?
A couple of girls rush up to the window, the two that you had seen before, and one of them goes, "That's Rousseau's carnival." "Yes, they were just in the city. My mother took us to go and watch it. I don't think it was that impressive, though. Oh, but I've always wanted to see Madame Rousseau. I hear that she can tell anybody's future. Does it in the most magnificent way. Well, she didn't tell anybody's future when we were there. All we got was a gnome doing parlor tricks." And they wash back over to their seats and stuff. And you pull into the town of Baudelaire and clamber off out of the steam engine and onto the single platform that they've got. It's got a vine overhang as well, with a few little floating lights in between it that look like fairies. And as you look down immediately off the platform, it's not even just like the neat brick roads you've seen in Hawkvine. It's just dirt and a couple of like hills of grass, and it follows down what are actual like wooden stairs put into the dirt. But you can see past like these quaint little moss-covered fence posts that the lakeside village of Baudelaire. And you walk up through it all. you can see that there's really just one tavern here, and it's hardly even a tavern. It's actually just a small little like shed, like an open shed that has some taps behind it, and somebody is behind it getting drinks out, and it's right in the middle of where there used to be a tree. You can see the stump of it was long ago cut down, and the surrounding area is a grassy knoll right next to this tree, and these tables that are just set up around it with this tiny little shack that has a bartender behind it, human, middle-aged, balding, apron, and they're serving a couple of drinks to a few simple regulars. They kind of like turn, look at you, bow their hats and stuff. A few people glance your way as you walk past them. Most of them are heading down towards the kind of farmer's market you can see set up just next to the tavern and that chopped down tree in the middle. And you make your way over to like up some now flagstone steps to what is a closed gate that says just the word spa. All right, nothing else. And it's got past it. It's a really low gate, only about waist high. It's got this really nice kind of stable sign over the top of it, but rather than having actually carved anything on the sign, it literally just has the word spa painted on it. Very neat letters, though.
I love it. Is there any thieves' cant around?
Give me a
That can't
perception
turn
check.
off work mode.
So kind of says to them, well, this kind of definitely reminds me of home. Quaint town.
Looking around, you do not notice any thieves' cant.
I'm too busy making sure Arthur doesn't notice me looking for thieves' cant.
You actually, like Zell's kind of looks back after making that comment at you. What are you looking for, Babette?
Oh, I'm just admiring the quaintness of the architecture.
Well, I guess we should go in. Is this where we're staying for the week?
Yeah.
Just... Yeah?
The spa is the only spa you're ever going to want to go to. Once you go in, I never want to leave.
You have a way of making things sound ominous, even when they aren't.
The gate creaks too when he opens the gate and slowly go ahead.
Zell just is like, yeah, he tends to do that to everything, so you can't get used to it after a while.
Babette just nods and goes along.
So goes and walks in, closing the gate behind him.
Like a good dog.
I'll bite you.
Making my way up steps. The kind of cool autumn wind catches the leaves on the trees, and it's a beautiful steps. Like beyond this low gate, you can see it goes up a hill with these flagstones that are just made like soft little makeshift path heading up it. There's occasionally a wooden fencing that has become overgrown with vines that's along the way. A very dimly lit lantern that even here in midday you can see is setting off like a softish kind of orange glow, right? And it strikes you a little curious that they would need like lighting even during the day. Like, who doesn't turn their lamps off? That's a waste of fuel. But as you're making your way up, kind of cool autumn wind catches behind you guys, and you feel like the leaves on the trees blow, and it's just this trail, like a sweeping carpet of orange leaves heading ahead of you. And what are your all's passive perceptions?
15.
13, I think.
If I'm in me out, probably it'd be 16.
14.
Then Zale, you notice for a brief moment as like the leaves kind of scatter before you. You can almost like see almost like it looked for a moment like they form the shape of around legs, right? That were like running off ahead of you. And as you're kind of like noticing that, you see as the door up ahead opens on its own. There's this. It's a beautiful midday though, autumn, and you kind of like Arthur kind of like walks on past you. You might hesitate for a moment seeing that, and he walks right through the spot where you saw the feet. The leaves kind of scatter around him, and he just like walking in through the front door is taking off his coat.
Is there any magical in here? Since like I don't have glasses on or anything, I'm just looking around.
Looking around, you do notice that the lights that you were passing. But as you're approaching the place, no, not real.
So kind of tilts his head at that. Keeps walking. I guess he does kind of the same thing. Kind of takes off his coat. Kind of folds it over his arm.
All right, so before we go in and start doing business, Babette,
Yeah.
you guys kind of like move or the door closes behind you, and Arthur like takes his coat, and you see as it slowly drifts away from him, and it lands on one of these coat hooks, and he's looking at you while this is happening. So you said something about how you've got a couple of rooms covered. Did it specifically mention when you get the attic?
What was that?
Did it specifically mention whether or not you get the attic room? Or is it or did it just say a room? It did not.
It did not specify, unfortunately.
Alright then. You guys can have those 2 rooms. I'm gonna see if the attic room is available.
So special with the attic room.
Oh, you're here. I don't do it justice.
Alright then. And Del kind of does the same thing, and just kind of like has a loose kind of grip on his coat to see what happens because he's kind of curious.
You stepped into like a circular door into a foyer room, and it has immediately another door in front of you. This one's square, like just a regular rectangular door. And the room that you're in is kind of circular in shape, right? And there are like hooks on the walls to your left and right, and there are like benches and stuff. And he's like, the only thing is you cannot wear shoes in there. Don't get us kicked out. No shoes.
Can it be assumed that Babette got up like, a couple extra sets of clothes and stuff before we left for the train station?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
You had that whole thing, and then that morning to get prepared and stuff, so yes.
Yeah, because she wouldn't have wanted to just go on a train with nothing. So
Mhm.
So we'll hang his comb on the coat hands and put his boots right below it.
yeah, Babette'll do the same, and silently wonder what the rest of the group is up to.
Ah, should probably head inside, huh?
I guess so.
As you
Find
open
our
the door, you see as immediately it's central hearth kind of room. You can see that in the middle is a burning fire with this bluish light. And there are 4 benches kind of sitting around it. And around the walls and stuff, you can see that there appears to be a bunch of like flowers, wreaths of them that have just been left, right? And the as you guys enter into the rooms, again, the door closes behind you on its own accord. And you hear, you see as the flame kind of blows up a little bit more. And a shadow darts around the left wall and then around the other wall. And you feel as something is looming up behind you for a moment. As you kind of turn around and back into the room to try to look at it, the fire's now to your back. You hear the fire speak to you. And I do love having guests and ones that are so kind as to take off their shoes. And the shadow kind of wraps itself from around the left-hand side and then around in front of you. And you can see for a moment the shadow of a figure like walking or cast across the wall in front of you as if it's walking between you. But as you turn to look behind you, there is no other figures there but you. But you can hear the voice coming out of the flame. And tell me here, do you come as supplicants or as guests?
We come as
You come.
guests, and Babette holds out the coupons that she got. I can't remember the right
Sees
word.
the float away from you, and you kind of turn and look, and you watch as it flies into the fire and whoosh. Oh, very good. Oh, we have 2 perfect, lovely rooms that I do believe that should make your stay here wonderful. Oh, I was actually wondering whether or not you had a specific room. I prefer high altitudes. And I was wondering if perhaps you had an attic room. An attic room? You are the second person to ask me that curious question today. Do you know something naughty?
Fuck to Arthur.
Babette raises an eyebrow.
Yeah.
I
Tilts
know
my head, Arthur.
something
Does-
terrible happened in the room. He says, looking at you guys like with thumbs up. Like,
Does Babette know what the attic room is? Because she's been here once before, I think.
This place is a spa that is ran by a ghost, and you've forgotten that detail until just the moment that this creepy stuff started happening.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, that people go stay in for some reason.
It's the ghost spa.
Because
Gotcha.
we're out of their massacre. Duh, I forgot all about that.
Oh, fuck.
This is so Arthur.
Kind
Of course he
sounds,
enjoys this.
still puzzled, being like, so
Babette smiles.
okay, we're here, right? So
Yes,
that's what concerns.
let's see if Arthur can get this room. She just kind of mutters to Zale.
wonder-
Unfortunately, somebody else got. However, our other 2 rooms should be lovely, and I have a third one. It's so required.
I don't
It would
mind.
appear that we would need that third room.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun.
Will be. However, what time is dinner? It's at 6 o'clock sharp. Don't be late. Goes to a normal color, and Arthur turns and looks at you. He's like, "It's pretty cool, right? She totally killed her husband, who turns out was an insane necromancer. Nobody in the village knew. Yeah, he hid the bodies in the tree in the middle of town. Pretty
So,
fucked up, right?"
So Arthur, just to explain this, just to refresh what you're just saying to me, you took us for our vacation to relax and everything, to a ghost spa where people have died.
I mean, technically, I'm the one who took you.
I mean, technically, but Arthur kind of didn't mention this.
I mean,
I completely
thought
forgot.
I thought that was the appeal of it. Anyways, think of this way, Dale. It's not going to become any more haunted than it already is. So, us coming here can't really fuck it up any. Already been fucked up. So this is like the safest place for people like us to be able to vacation. Trust me, there's probably some science behind how this works.
Probably is, but you.
Honestly, he has a point.
Let's just get our rooms. So kind of just starts walking.
That just kind of chuckles and follows Zale.
Alright.
You know how I was, as she kind of leans into Arthur, you know how I was saying you were a bit more worldly than the rest of them seem to be? I think this is one of those times.
It's a tourist site.
They don't seem like the type who knows what tourism is.
What are you guys talking about back there? Are you coming or what?
Oh,
Just like
nothing.
looking
Let's
back.
go find our
I don't
room,
like
Zale.
that. I hear that they've got really good food at the lake. As long as you can overlook the fact that there used to be dead bodies in that tree. Tree's not there, so it should be easy. And maybe the weekend isn't a total bust. Julian, I've got an idea.
Yes, Arthur?
Tell them we're going to be getting drinks and stuff in a little bit. Okay. And then he is going to head out.
Huh. So, Babette, other than the weird ghost thing to you, who's this Madame... How was her name?
Madame Rousseau?
Rousseau,
Do I know
yes.
Madame Rousseau?
Yes, do you know her?
I'm asking Chance.
Uh-oh. He said, oh no.
Oh. Is that a oh no internet or oh no?
I think it's oh no internet.
Yeah.
Or oh no, he can't hear us anymore. They're saying dead. But no. course, fucking Arthur takes us to the fucking massacre place with a bunch of fucking ghosts. Guys, this was like a normal
It
vacation.
literally cannot get worse than right now.
Yeah, I know. That's what...
One of the other groups I'm in is just sending constant cat pictures, and oh my god, there are some cute ass cat pictures. She has like 7 cats.
God, that's a lot.
Yes, internet went red, but I am back.
Huzzah!
Hell yeah. The question was, does Babette know Madame Rousseau?
No. You've heard of this show. You know
But
that
I've never really been
Madame
to it.
Rousseau. Yeah, you've never really been to it. No. You know that Madame Rousseau herself is like in the carnival world, she's recognized as probably being one of the only people that is actually a legitimate fortune teller. And but the rest of her show is shit.
It's all
She tends
charlatans
to
except her.
Yes, yeah. Nobody else in it is good. She tends to bring in a bunch of other people that are okay shows, right?
Okay. So,
Um,
I mean, she's seems to be fairly legitimate. It's just the rest of her show that isn't necessarily as impressive.
So she can actually tell you your future, huh?
So they say. Not that you guys
Kind of.
need any help with that, apparently.
Actually, I would like to actually go see her.
I would love to go walk around that camp.
I mean, at least it's better than the witch who trades people's souls.
Bebet just kind of like looks at you.
It's not lying.
Yeah, no, that's like the what the fuck veil look.
So it kind of just shrugs. It's just walking to find the rooms.
What's everybody
All
else doing?
yes, we are going to cut for a moment. As meanwhile, back in Fee's place, while digging through some stuff, Hanu, you actually come across something. It's a strange board, a Ouija board. You've heard of these ones. They're used for scrying, specifically communing with spirits. And why it was here, you're not completely certain. You kind of pull it out, you blow a bit of dust off of it, and you see the runes etched across the top. And you feel like a tingle kind of go through you. You know this is a powerful tool for being able to commune.
She'd be more confused why it's not here, honestly, at this point. But she's going to actually perk up and then look around and run over to where she last remembers seeing Libby. See if she's actually here or not.
Just a moment.
Mm-hmm.
He is there. He's probably digging through a couple of the other stuff in the attic as well, actually.
Okay, wait, are we talking about Fee or Libby?
Libby.
Libby? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna, like, run over to her and hold this up to the ceiling for a bit before graciously placing it in front of her. I have never come across this before, but I know it's pretty powerful. Do you know what this is?
Not a clue.
Alright, and I'll briefly explain it to her, but then briefly remembering the last time we kind of did some communing. Or, I mean, you feeling up for it a little bit later? Want to take it for
You think there's a ghost here?
I mean, there has to be. I mean, there's... Avale's a big city, and it's right next to a river. So I'm pretty sure a few things are sticking around.
Fuck yes, I am so down for this.
Okay. We're gonna do second part of Girls'
Do we
Night
need
Out.
like candles or something? We have to
Uh,
set the mood.
probably.
Ghost light candles.
I mean, there's good. I still got a few bit of candles from the temple, but should we like make this official? Should we go out to go get some candles from specific shops?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. You know what shops to look for?
What are shops?
Stores. We have to have stores that I guess you can call it
Yes.
occult knowledge. I feel uncomfortable saying that because that's just Coterie Coast knowledge. So anything with you remember the and then she'll briefly just just explain to her just the two witches over at the Port Valiant.
Twisted twigs. Got it.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Let's
Okay.
go searching for a twisted twigs.
Alrighty.
Go ahead and roll me an investigation check. Advantage.
Okay. Oop. I got a 4.
You managed to find a witchy place. It sells a bunch of different types of candles and stuff. You see some other kind of like crystal balls and various types of holy symbols. Like it smells terribly of like an overabundance of incense. And as like kind of like squint your eyes through all of the smoke, you manage to buy like a couple of, you manage to buy an abundance of candles for however many you need. But this place is bullshit. There isn't anything magical in this entire store. But they have a lot of candles, and it does fit the aesthetic.
I'll gently pull Lilby aside and say, I'm pretty sure this whole place is a bunch of hot air. But if there's anything I'm pretty sure Avalian's ghosts care about, it's aesthetic. So I think this candle should at least work enough.
True.
And I definitely would not summon any spirits where we're from, but I'm pretty sure standards here are a little bit different. Okay, yeah, and we get the best amount of candles that we can.
Alright. How much do you want to spend?
Not too much, honestly.
Alright. Say, look. Just.
She wants to be courtesy, and just be like, thanks for, I'm gonna support local business, but she knows that this stuff isn't gonna go anywhere. Yeah, so it's just...
I'd say, for, 5 silver, managed to buy an abundance of overpriced candles, to be able to, like, put a candle on every surface of wherever you're doing the seance. Attic, I assume.
Yep, she's just gonna stare at it, just like, well, we'll see. Okay, gosh. She rubs her forehead a little bit. Okay, do you remember how to... Do you want to know the ways to set this up? Or maybe we should, like... Why don't... How about this? She stops in the... As we're exiting the shop in the middle of the street. Why don't we, like... I don't know... See if he wants to join in? Have that slumber party thing she was talking about?
All right. Sure, that sounds like an idea.
Didn't really sound very enthusiastic about that.
Oh, I'm certain she'll have enough enthusiasm for the both of us.
Yeah. I'll gently just grab her a little bit. Are you sure you're doing okay? You really haven't been... Ever since that room in the temple, you've been a little bit distant. Want to talk about it?
Sorry, that was me out of character laughing.
Yeah. But you probably would have that nervous laughter too. Like, yeah, no, it's okay. I mean, it's fine if we don't.
All I want to do is summon the dead. And see if we can steal Nan's radio.
Okay.
Borrow Nan's radio with the intention of returning it.
It's called borrowing. Sorry, yeah, sure. You can go. Yeah.
Thinking your idea about aesthetic was totally spot on. Let's go all the way. Of alien music and candles and Outcast Speak with Dead. We're sure to get something.
Okay, sure.
Slumber party.
I mean, I could see if anybody else wants to join in. Okay. Anyways, you, why don't you go set up that shop? I actually have to do my own kind of speak with dead, for a bit, okay?
Give your guns and walks away.
Tunnis just stops and just watches her leave for a moment. Shoulders drag for a bit, and then she starts walking up, putting the board in the attic, and then takes out her fishing pole and goes to the river for a bit. As she casts the line, she's just gonna sit and see if she can commune with any of her ancestors for a bit. Just that awkward knock, very hesitant of like a kid knocking at their parents' door. See if anybody answers.
Fishing line kind of bobs across the water. Kind of always within that little bit of light, the moon, kind of casting the line right into the moon and bobs, and always just kind of bobs a little bit out of it. Right, once it does, you know, you flip back, cast it back into that little bit of light, and is this golden carp just bounces up and snags onto the edge of your line. And I need you to roll for a wisdom check. No, because you're not proficient with fishing poles.
Mm-hmm.
Line snaps away. You see as there's this brief little bit of light, or this kind of golden outline of a carp underneath the water. It was further down.
Hey, come, can you bring that back? Okay. Okay. She dingles at her fishing pole a little bit, and debates if she should restring it. Might as well, one more time. And she calmly puts in a new hook.
Fish and contemplate for the rest of the evening. an image of a golden fish popping up out of the reflection of the moon for just a moment, or taking a lure and part of flying away on its swim downstream.
I guess they didn't really want to talk. Okay. She'll put her fishing pole back and then walk upstairs. Okay.
By then, Lib has set candles upon every surface on the inside of that kind of nook you've collected a space out of in the middle of the attic. And you can, they're not, none of them are lit. They're all just there. Boards in the center. No, Fee was downstairs. Last you saw, having breakfast or brunch. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Midday now.
Okay. Wait, look.
Zarman, I'm sure you can hear her having cooked up food that morning, and Fia having been down there for having made brunch after your morning training with Gwen. It would have been something that Fia made, and then you would probably around that time be able to hear or smell the work of Zarman in the kitchen.
Oh,
Probably getting ready for whatever lunch or supper prep he was going to.
she'll poke her head around the corner and see Zarman working just silently.
And there's the radio in the kitchen. It is currently off. Unless Zarman has it on when he's cooking.
Nah, probably not.
Hey, it's Zarman. I briefly had this like happy thought of Zarman just tapping his foot to a tune in the kitchen while he cooked.
Zarman just likes to have the quiet focus.
Quiet. Yes. Is befitting Zarman. And you see into the kitchen that's the radio that Liv was talking about, commandeering for the evening, but hasn't gotten to yet. And unless there's any other prep you wanted to do for the evening.
She's gonna look around extremely uncomfortably. Then leans out a little bit further for Zarman. See if he's extremely intent, or actually she just wants to see how his mood is.
He just seems focused. That's just how he likes to relax, is to focus on something else.
Okay, I'm gonna send you a quick message to see if you think you'd be up for it. This way, okay. Why? For some reason, I can't see my mouse on my whole on my end. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Well, yeah. So I'm just gonna awkwardly try to maneuver Discord, see if I can find you. Okay, and Lord. Just wait a second, I'm gonna mute myself for a bit.
Outside in the back garden, like the open window, you can hear like Tia and Gwen kind of like in like somewhat quiet on one person's side, and overly loud on the others. As that is now turned to Fia, like humming something, or something. Its rhythm seems to be a little off. Her and Gwen appear to be in the garden as well, having some sort of conversation.
And I'm just guessing Nan's just been resting as much as she can.
Yep. As Nan comes down for really early tea, and then goes out to her garden for a while to water several of her plants, and then usually by the time the sun is coming up, she is going back upstairs to be able to take another nap. Usually having had tea again after watering the garden. But sometimes she's especially tired and goes upstairs. She was especially tired this morning.
Mm.
Not have tea after watering the garden.
Because I'm just trying to think of. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. Who's around the house still?
At the moment, Sunair seems to be going in and out. You currently do not see her anywhere, and I have not seen her all day. She seems to prefer altitudes, so if she's anywhere, she's on the roof. And Arthur and Zale and Babette have already left this morning, early in the morning, to head out to the train station. And Eliza left the same time to head to her family. So currently, it's just you and Gwen and Fia and Nan and Anu and Libby. And Kat, who
I'm
is
just trying to
amidst studying
Yeah, no,
a slimy green jar.
I'm just trying to think off the top of my head who all would know Summer's birthday is the second day.
Oh, probably.
So,
Not gonna lie, Kak would not.
okay. So only Lib may know that Summer's birthday is tomorrow. Good.
If the other Kak could know, but this Kak, nah, he's got no clue.
That was the main thing there. And also just
Poor Simon.
I'm typing this out.
Yeah, just a quick question.
Anu would gauge that Zarman just generally works better when he's working on something. He's happier when it's less about him than anything else.
She's gonna feel extremely uncomfortable about this, but then she's gonna also, as like a little kid, awkwardly move further out of the corner, just like, I don't want to say it out loud, but I also want you to acknowledge my presence.
That's fine. Because I'd imagine Zarman's perception is shit, by the way.
Yeah.
After a little bit of like turning around to do something else out on another counter and noticing you there. Oh. I didn't see you there. You need anything?
Kind of. But actually, do you need anything either? You're really at work. You need extra hands?
If you'd like. I'm still trying to figure this out as Armin flips through to the next page of whatever he's doing.
Okay, what recipe are you working on?
I'm working on this Apollonian dish on this page. And then as Armin will point out whatever dish he's working on, because I'm not sure of Apollonian dishes off the top of my head.
It's a stuffed duck.
Ambitious.
Right. I just wanted to try to make more of them meat.
Ducks are kind of greasy. I think that's what Gran said, so you need to make sure you put some lemon there so it digests in the stomach more.
Summer looks back at the last page. Oh crap, I did miss that.
Oh no. Well, okay, so let me tell you some of the properties about combining flavors. As she's looking through this recipe page, she's trying to, like, explain a little bits and pieces that you probably are not gonna get from, like, just reading it alone. So she, off the top of her mind, she's just racking her brain around. Wait, I really don't know why they're adding that much salt, though. It's kind of seems a little bit dangerous. But yeah, okay.
Well, I mean, I wanted to try to cook a meat because I may have accidentally put like 2 or 3 times as much salt as that onto a piece of meat I tried to make for Cac to wake him up. He seemed to enjoy it, but I'm pretty sure it's just because it was Cac.
Well, sometimes you can do meat when it's like, do that for like meat when you're trying to make it into jerky, but when you're putting that much salt, you need to at least balance it out with having a little bit more water. And I actually have no idea. I'm really bad at cooking, but okay.
It's much appreciated.
Okay, yeah. I mean, honestly, you're supposed to. Some people work better with bitter and sour. Sometimes having too much salt. Actually, salt would be good at night in a way, but okay. Anyways, yeah. Sorry. She's just more focused at hand of helping you out. Is there like a timer on the oven that we use or whatnot?
No.
Shit. Do we have like a sand dial? No, what is those things called when you flip it over? She looks at you.
This is when you need a Zale to yell at.
Right.
She'll make a motion of like an hourglass.
I've been keeping track of it. Yeah, and Zarman will point to whatever thing displays time around here.
Oh. That's interesting. Huh. We usually had a sundial where I'm from. I mean, it was different when there was like, you know, it's cloudy. And then we'd use a water clock, but, you know, it's getting really difficult right now trying to talk and come.
There's a clock on the wall.
Okay, that's what Zarman would point to.
Yeah. Then
It's simple.
Yeah, she'll also look at that too. Like, oh, when was that there? Huh. And you get the feeling that she's really dancing around a topic that she doesn't know how to approach.
Well, no. Anyway, if there actually was something else you want to talk about. I tend to be a fan of direct conversation if you'd like. Or if you aren't okay with that.
I can only be direct when it's an Aquan, but nobody really understands it. Like, even she'll gesture over to, like, where Livy probably went up. Like, even, you know, the lieutenant knows Aquan, but there's knowing the language and understanding it. You can't speak Aquan without feeling it. And sometimes that's pretty overwhelming to certain people. So Aquan is a very truthful language, and I don't know how to be truthful to people about this because no one can understand it, though. So I'm gonna try something and hopefully it comes across. So just wait a second here, and she is gonna cast tongues on herself Let me just find that. Let me find that spell on her list. It's a whisper. Tongues. Okay, so I just want to see if this would work out. Okay.
Are you trying to see if tongues can translate Hanu?
No, yeah, I want to see if it can translate her.
Yeah, no, as long as you're talking to somebody who knows a language,
Yeah.
you can speak in any language you want.
Yeah,
I know. It's just funny.
She's
Yeah.
casting a third level spell to
Continue.
translate her
Well,
words.
yeah, that's why I was like, to get across, you'll figure it out what. Okay.
Say
Okay.
Hanu.
Yeah, she's just like, okay.
Yeah, almost like cack in the sandwich.
Mhm. Okay.
Excuse me.
So, she'll look at you before she casts this, like, you don't really have to respond to it. And I'm just rambling because I wasn't able to talk to anybody,
Well,
actually.
I mean, I can just listen if you don't want that anyway.
Yeah, and she's scratching her nose a little bit harder than usual. Okay, okay. And she'll cast tongues. And as she's speaking, Aquan, you can hear the words just coming out of her mouth, but almost sudden it's kind of just like you're having this weird deja vu experience where you're seeing her talk, but then you're imagining something happening at the same time. It's just like a movie playing in your head. And as she's talking, you kind of just imagine yourself in this scene where there's just these wild rolling waves and there's a ship that's kind of tipping over. You're just stuck in the middle of this ocean, sky is gray. And you just have this overwhelming feeling of just being lost. And as your head is just dipping underneath the waves, trying to bob up, you just feel something tugging at your leg, just this net. Your foot's just stuck into it, and then it's just dragging you down. And as it's pulling you down, you're looking over it, and you're just seeing Hanu's face staring back at you, and you realize that you're her staring at herself, but there's other people underneath her too. Then you can kind of see an image a bit that it looks like they're people who look just like her with her features. You might think that this is her family, maybe? There's just a really tall, broad-shouldered man with just this huge beard and long hair, and another broad-shouldered, younger gentleman. Just his hair pulled back. But his faces kind of distort a little bit. And then just become shadowed. Then you, as she's talking about her mother, you're starting to see her face distorts a little bit furthermore. She kind of looks like she looks like Hanu, or you feel like you don't know if it's just because you're inhaling too much water, or if it's just something scribbling at your mind, but you just, all of a sudden it just vanishes. And she's looking at you desperately, this image of her. And all of a sudden, you're up above water again. And as she's keep on speaking to Naquin, just kind of unloading it, you feel that net just tug, and then actually, for a brief second, you're back in the kitchen, and she's looking at you kind of desperately for a moment. I'm thinking about them a lot.
Zarman will stop whatever he was doing in that moment and just hold you. You're okay.
She's just really stiff. I don't know if I should let them go. I don't know if I should let them pull me down. I don't know.
Do you remember the good things about it? Or about them?
She's looking out the window. And then she just continues talking, and I kind of feel warm. Like it's just, you just got out of a nice day at the beach. And the water was kind of cold. But you just have a warm blanket on you. I do. But then I just remember how much I don't know anymore. They're gone. And I have to move on, but I'm afraid of that. I can't get back those years. I'm a different person now, and they're probably alive. They're probably also gone too. They might also be dead. I don't know. I don't know if they went out to look for me or not. I'm all that's left. And I think there's more people drifting away now. Sorry about that. She'll pat at your head.
It's nothing to be sorry about. I can't speak for them, but I can speak for myself. If I were to ever not be around anymore, I just want to be remembered for the good things.
I don't think they have a lot of good memories about me, though.
Well, I just wouldn't want anyone to think about me and be sad. If you believe they would be the same, it's the best you can do.
Maybe. Maybe. But then what's worse? Them feeling that and knowing that I'm never coming back. I have a duty right now. And they can't be a part of it anymore. I don't know if I'm going to survive this, Zartan. I'm gonna try my best, but all those years I couldn't contact them. I don't think I'm gonna get a response back, and I'm afraid of that.
No matter what happens, we are here.
Sometimes we're just the only ones left, though. How are we gonna try to hold it together for them? Everybody else has lost people here. The Stars and Sea Society is the only thing we have left at this point. I don't want to lose another family again.
We do what we do. Try our best.
Okay. I think.
I'd imagine the duck's burning.
Yeah, no, she's also being like, I think you need to turn the duck right now. It's been simmering for a bit.
Oh shit. Zarman will gently let you go before panicking to go to the duck.
No, she's actually walking with you over. She's like, no, listen, here. You're too tense about it. The duck is gonna know you're afraid of it. She's giving you a little hug. She helps you turn the duck. Just because it's a little bit crispy on one side doesn't mean it's totally brilliant. Some people like it crispy. Also, can I borrow the radio?
It's not like I was using it,
Okay.
and it's not like it's mine. I'd ask Fee if she's still out there with Gwen.
No, okay, sure. She'll pat you on the head. And she's mentioned something else to you, Aqua, and you just have the image of just somebody sleeping in a hammock at nighttime by a gentle ocean. Just that calm, just shifting of waves back and forth. And she's just nods to you and leaves. Then I'll walk up to Fee. Hey Fee, guess what? Actually, where's Fee? I'll be staying outside. Last place Sarman saw her. There's Fee up there?
She's there just humming away and then sees you approach. Oh. Hi, Hanu.
Kind of waves enthusiastically. Hey, I need your help with something.
And as they I look over, Gwen looks at Fia and says, I will have to give those a listen. Thank you. And then he stands up in that brief moment that she was saying that, and arms behind her back, bows her head to you. Sure thing, anything. What can I get for you?
Oh, Gwen, you can also join in on this too. We're going to conduct a seance tonight. And we're gonna need a radio.
A seance?
Yeah, we found this board upstairs, and she's gonna briefly describe it. Which is actually a really powerful... It's kind of like a scrying implement, but it's more for spirits. So you want to go see what's up with it? She'll look over between Fee and Gwen excitedly.
Speaking with the dead very rarely turns out. I will train.
You know, my ancestors could actually help you train. You technically would speak with the dead with them if you'd be talking to them, so they're not all bad. Sometimes you can learn things from the past in spirits, but it's all about knowing how to let them in. Anyway, sorry, I shouldn't be schooling you. You're wiser than I could ever imagine to be. She looks a little bit dazed since she's been out of...
Eyes kind of glance off to the side and she winces.
Wisdom is always inherent, even if you don't realize it. Gwen, trust me about that. The less you think about it, the more it's gonna come out. At least that's...
I am not doubting that there's to be gained communing with the spirits of old. It's merely remarking upon my lack of capability facing such spirits currently.
They...
Be safe.
Okay. Sorry. I'm out of it right now. I forgot who I was talking to. She's actually going to be muttering a few things on her breath before looking at Fee. Yeah, we just need to borrow the radio, if you want.
So, an actual seance.
Mm-hmm.
She would walk around in front of you and start walking backwards. So you're saying that my house is haunted?
I mean, we could find out, but sometimes she'll point to rivers. Spirits like to go through water. It's kind of like a pathway. They will go walk up and down.
That doesn't sound like a real thing.
Oh. I mean, she'll make quotation marks, ghost spirits, and then there's water spirits.
So we could just have a house spirit?
The world's filled with them. You just need to know where to look. I mean, also, there's a reason why that board was up there. I don't know what else it would be for.
So we're doing a seance, and we're doing it as a group. We're going to be in the attic, and we're going to have the radio.
I really don't know about the radio.
Are we having a slumber party?
I think so. But I also don't know what a radio's for, in terms of this, so I'm actually extremely excited to figure that out. It's like science. Seance science! Oh my gosh. She'll look out to the river, eyes wide.
He laughs, and she grabs the radio up off the ledge above the sink and holds it between her in front of her, and then she's like, I am down for this.
Okay.
And rushes up towards the top.
Okay.
By the time you get up there, she is tuning it to a local radio station that plays just, easy listening, I guess, kind of music. Notice that most of them seem to be people going over the news, and we get to this one, and it's just literally just easy listening, like instrumental stuff, and nothing. Places it up near the top. The late afternoon. Zarman, you get an attempt at cooking. You do add your wisdom or your dexterity, whichever one is higher, but at advantage.
So advantage on a wisdom cooking thing.
Thank God for advantage.
5 when you burnt it at the beginning, and then the feel good of catharsis kicked in from a Hanu hug, and your next attempt came out, and you apply the stuffed duck, and like some bagels and spread stuff that seems to be an endless supply in this place, and bring it up for everybody to be able to eat. When you get up into the attic, you can see that everybody placed candles over everything. None of them are lit right now. There are candles on every surface that is within that central section that you guys have made. They don't go any further outward than any of the aisles, but they've been stacked up on an assortment of things around you, towering up to kind of some stupid heights. Liv's been in here bored. She hasn't really wanted to go outside, but she's taken to placing these candles up. And Fia has set the radio up at a pretty high location to where it's setting some kind of easy listening kind of tunes. It's the about 5 or 6ish. It gets a little dark in here around that time. But there's still like afternoon kind of glow clinging to everything.
Okay.
Zarman just looks around. Are you busy in here, or what do you want me to hand you your food in here?
Oh, well, wait a second. I gotta actually go up there to see if Sonera's around, but you can join if you want. We're doing some spirits conversing. Ah, that was me.
Upon hearing spirits conversing, I'm just like, last time I aged quite a bit, so I think I'm gonna pass on this one.
Well, that was because he was a jerk. But anyways. Alright.
I think I'm good.
Okay. Alright.
I'll have my downstairs probably with the man.
Okay, sure. And I will rush up to the top to see if Sonera's around on the roof.
Looking around, she does not appear to be.
Just in case she heard my footsteps, I'll be like, hey Sonera, we're going to do, we used to do this a lot in the hermit section of the temple. Taco with spirits, if you want to join, you can. Right downstairs. And then she looks around even further and just goes back downstairs. Pretty sure.
Right.
Yeah, and I'll look over to Lib and be like, I don't know, I'm pretty sure she's off doing secret priestess stuff right now. I should be doing that too, which is why I'm doing this, I say, looking over to the spirit board. She rubs her hands together. Okay. Actually, I want to go see something else. I'll go. Is Kak around?
Kak probably getting
Or is
bored.
he at the library? Like, is it all night kind of library?
Yeah, Kak is there in the same attic room, but in like a dark corner of it,
Terrible
where
smell over
like
there.
his dark. Yeah, but it's where his spiders are being kept in the most absolute of darkness in order for them to be able to hatch properly. And but he's there.
Hey, Kak. Kak, what are you doing?
I'm working on things.
Oh, we're gonna be working on spirit things over here if you want to join in or listen. But how can you work in the darkness like this? It's really dark.
It is.
There's some light over.
That's how I like it sometimes. Sometimes the darkness is good, honey. Sometimes.
I mean, yeah, when you want to go to sleep, but your eyesight's gonna be really bad.
What? That? Huh?
Yeah, when you're squinting right now.
I'm not squinting. I can see in the dark, you know.
You can?
Yeah.
Since when? She actually looks off to the side, like, counting on her fingers for a moment, like, what?
For as long as I can remember, but that's just a me thing. I often forget that I can do it.
What? No way. How?
Yes.
She'll...
I get forgetful about that sometimes.
Well, that's because you're always studying in the dark. That's probably why. And then she'll walk further into
Probably.
the darkness where it's extremely dark. She's like, how many fingers am I holding up? And she'll hold up. She looks like she has 2 hands up. And actually, and she's holding up. What is it? Going. It's not mine. Oh, yeah, she looks like she has 2 hands up. But she starts moving them really rapidly.
What are you doing?
How many fingers I'm holding up, Kak?
Well, you keep moving them.
It's
If you
because
hold just 1 or 3 or 7, I could tell you.
alright, and then she'll hold the exact amount of numbers that she has over here.
Well, that's 1.
Okay.
Unless I've forgotten how to count. Which is certainly possible.
Okay, so now that I've captured your attention, you wanna go listen to some spirits?
Well, sure, I'll listen.
Okay. So, actually, here's the one thing, though. When one of us starts talking in a voice that isn't our own, could he just please, like, if it's me, can he please just, like, slap me upside the head? That usually, like, will get something out.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Sure.
Okay.
Get
Alright.
his mage hand ready.
Alright, that... Is it the telekinesis that you can't see what it is?
I believe Cac picked up telekinetics. I think
Yeah,
it would.
so...
He did.
So she'll be like... Do you also have a... Wait, where is it?
Well, where's what? What are you talking about?
I thought you said you had your mage hand ready.
Oh, that. Yes, it's somewhere. It'll tap you on your shoulder.
Is your mage hand also a ghost too?
Oh. No, it's just there, doing its thing.
Okay. And she'll just walk over.
Alright, so as you set to that, you see as Lib is now going around lighting a bunch of the candles. He's using one of them now to kind of go and light the rest of them. And you see as Fee stands up and starts doing the same. And as you watch like the two of them kind of like crisscross between the multitude of candles that are there, it takes them the better part of the next 10-15 minutes to finish lighting all of them this way. And you can join in as well. But go ahead and give me a wisdom saving throw. Just wisdom, but with your proficiency.
Okay.
Plus your proficiency, so that'd be 20.
What? Oh, I'm so used to the other thing. Where it actually
So-
did that. Okay, yeah.
You it would occur to you that a burning of incense might be appropriate here.
Okay. She has any gold amount of incense?
You figure that it probably not a whole lot. Just a little bit. It's not even like enough to cost any out of your supply. As long as you've got some incense on you, it's enough incense.
Okay, she will...
Pick up a single stick of it and kind of walk around between them as they kind of set this up.
Okay. Yeah, she'll take some of the incense that she got in Port Valiant, just a stick or two of that, and start wafting around to the corners, to the window. And kind of just a spiraling motion until she gets right around the board itself.
All right. As you gather around this board, placing the last couple of stuff down, it's gotten really dark in here now. Outside, it's still in the late afternoon. Few people are probably finishing up like afternoon glasses of wine and getting ready to either go home or prepare for more exciting ventures. But here it's gotten very dark. The towering pillars of rickety furniture have started to kind of creak now that you've started burning incense and lighting these candles. And he goes, that's just, it's cold in the winter. All that is. Liv kind of rolls her eyes, and you all kind of kneel down in front of the board. So should you or should I? Liv looks at you.
I mean, if you want, we can both. 2 conduits is better than 1, so we share the burden better.
She's gonna cast Speak with Dead as her fingers touch one of the edges of the little piece notched on the top of it that kind of looks like it's carved out of like a piece of knotted wood with a lens in the middle of it. It's shaped almost like an eye of perhaps a dragon or a bird or something. Slanted looking, and you both kind of touch each edge of this dragon eye. She casts Speak with Dead, and you see as suddenly, just as immediately as you do it, all the candles kind of dim down. Just the pinpricks of flame. And Liv looks immediately at you and down at it, and no movement.
Take a few deep breaths. Okay? Just in sync with me. Close your eyes too. Let their hands guide ours. Then, after a while, as we're breathing, I'm just gonna call out to see, is there anybody here with us?
It moves over to the right. You see it, so yes.
Okay. And just closes her eyes a little bit. Again, as she just that one brief movement, and opened it and closed it. Have you been here long? Within the last decade, 2?
See as the board begins to kind of shake for a moment, and the lights on the candles all flare up around you. Only the room is just cast in this sharp light, and a shadow of a bird flutters past. You see as a very strange-looking black bird, perhaps a crow, but its head has been withered away to just a skeleton. Its feathers are kind of mostly lost and are frail-looking, and it's planted right up on one of the wardrobes nearby.
Hmm.
And down at the bottom, it says, you see as it spells out between your hands, as Libby's moves between, spells out long.
Hmm. What's her name? Or do you want me to introduce myself first? Move it to the right if yes, to the left if you want to, or yeah, move it to.
Yes.
Okay. So it wants me to introduce myself. Okay. My wording was a little bit weird.
It seems to want you to introduce yourself.
Okay, I'm Hanu Stormconch, and I will give a very brief lineage of just the regular Genasi greeting of, predecessor of so and so from and then as well as my great ancestor who led the rebellion in Jaula. That is from the Stormconch lineage. How about you?
The funny thing about life, you hear a voice say from the crow. It kind of like tilts its head right at you. You forget many things, including one's own name.
Well, do you remember what you did in life? Were you a writer, an adventurer, a fisherman?
I was an orphan. And then I was a pirate, as some might say. It is for others to decide.
I actually had an ancestor who was also, I guess some might say a pirate, but he was also a hero. It's just history and perspective change.
Heroes are. That is such an Orwellian construct.
Hmm.
I believe I was writing a book about that. And then somebody did something. All I know is I have been waiting for somebody to go and decide to take up my crusade. Somebody from the coast. This is truly fate.
Well, what seas did you sail? Did you go by, and she's just gonna give paths of if it went a little bit by Port Valiant to down south, or around towards Broken Star Bay and down, or more towards the Oni Sea. Just regular nautical kind of trade lines, like trade routes.
At times, but not during the typhoons. Mostly I kept along the northeastern regions. Areas that interact with the Umadoi type.
Oh, they must have trusted you a lot. They are kind of wary of outsiders. This must have been a long time ago, wow.
I made my business on getting the trust of untrusting people. That is, of course, what brought me here to Harvey, Pathfind. You know a museum, yes?
I will look over to Fee to see how she is.
She is looking at this bird, and looking at you, and looking at the bird. But she honestly, based off of the surprise looks you'd seen her having during, for example, the Frederick conversation, she doesn't seem very surprised by her talking yet.
Okay, yeah. She's just like, of course they all talk with this accent.
Yeah.
Maybe slightly of like, that's kind of a
She's
a
like, at
unique
this
one.
point, I'm not surprised.
Okay. Wait, what library is he talking? I mean, museum is he talking about? I will whisper to Fee.
We have a lot of museums. I don't know.
Okay,
Maybe,
okay.
there is a Coterie Coast one.
Oh,
I don't know. I've never been.
okay, okay. Well, I think this will... Okay, some detective work then. Okay, wait a second. You said if I might backpedal. And as she says that, it's just the term of just swimming back, like of just like rowing backwards, with the boat. So it's just like, you said you were an orphan and that you grew up in the coast. Did something about this place feel?
No.
What?
Hey. An orphan here. And
Oh,
I ran away to the,
to the
coast.
coast. Okay, sorry. Yeah, yeah, I mixed that up. So I'll be like, okay, so did you get lost over there and you just wandered back here, or?
Oh, I came here because I was the closest thing to an expert. And I heard the Thieves Guild here have ways of doing business that might be amicable. This museum here had Coterie Coast artifacts.
Okay.
And a person that I work for was keen on getting back. Myself, I hate the idea of our variant putting our culture into a museum.
Yeah.
So I go and I offer to make a fair price. He tells me if I want to see it, I can pay the visitor's fee.
Okay. What do you want us to do with this object? Do you want us to bring it to you? Do you want to see it? Over there?
You would see it not in his cheap curator's museum of showcases.
Yeah. Okay. What does it look like?
It is a crown made of coal. It once belonged to the sea elves.
Oh, wow, wait. Okay.
The
And
buyer was for a market in Yoko City.
okay, And can I do a quick history check to see if I know the significance of coral crowns to sea elves? Or, like, how old this thing must have been?
You can give me a history check.
And if I know if there has been any, so I can, like, either pinpoint it down. Okay. Where are you at? just want to know.
You know that coral crowns are particularly rare. You know that a lot of sea elven like artifacts and stuff have been bought up fairly regularly. The pirates of the Coterie Coast have attempted their best at keeping things like that in the Coterie Coast, raiding ships as an attempt to do trade in and out, but it hasn't really stopped a lot of it from slipping through. You don't know of a particular crown that's gone missing, but you do know that one being in a museum here potentially is kind of a big deal.
Just gonna hold her breath for the longest and just exhale. Like, oh boy, that's noticeable. Well, what will happen if this crown is back? Will you find peace with it? Or will you give us directions on who to give it to? Where its home is?
Its home is either with the sea elves or back in the sea of the Coterie Coast.
So you just want us to return it?
The bird caws and ruffles its feathers.
There is a spell I know that could eventually... Well, I don't know it right now. I used to. I can track down its lineage to see at least which colony of sea elves it came from, or who would want to claim it. So this is doable, yeah. Might take some time, is that okay?
Are you experienced in these type of things?
I can only say I'm inexperienced in terms of history and culture, but not of tracking down museums and taking from them.
And I will put this. And I hope that fate that brought you here, fate is on our side.
And you see as it goes, and the board that had been kind of rattling that time, it rattles to such a point that this compartment underneath it goes loose, and a few pieces of paper come out. And you can see what appear to be, as you kind of like pull them out and look at it, notes for a lot of schematics about the layout of a particular building that is actually not too far from here. It is in the same district. It is closer down towards St. Debu, though, this way. And so it would be good, a couple of hours for you to be able to get there. And to be able to get back. So each kind of scouting mission on it's going to end up taking you a day. But looking at the notes and stuff, you can see a lot of that layout work has already been done. The paperwork and everything on here looks pretty old, but go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Okay, I will guidance this. As she's looking this over, she's glancing up between Libby and, Libby and Fee. It's like, do you have any questions that you want to discuss about what we just witnessed? I want to just work our
Questions? Oh. Hey. So helping a pirate ghost rob a museum.
I mean, considering, depending, there's something called repatriation. It depends on who stole what. He's trying to bring it back to where it belongs, so you could say it was this museum who took it.
That makes a lot of sense.
It's a big discussion. One of my friends, Belisage, knows a lot more about it and the ethics behind museums and archaeology and whatnot. But usually, when you cast that spell, you can learn a lot more about the significance of this object and what would it mean for where it needs to be. If there was a reason
That
why it
brings
was
me to my other question.
Yeah.
So sea elves are a real thing.
I mean, they were. I actually did meet one. And I met her daughter. She hesitates a lot. She says that.
And then Blib goes, and then she became our airship, which then blew up. It's okay though.
Yeah, she got better. I actually need to contact her too about that. It's like that one time my gramps got his head chopped off, but he got better too. She nods over to Liv.
His head is just ping-ponging between the two of you. And as that's kind of like happening, you hear the sound of footsteps kind of descending down from the top of the staircase above. All right, and it's like really dark in here, so you can't even actually see who's coming down the stairs. But there had been nobody up there when you'd heard it before.
Oh, yeah.
And Sunera doesn't walk, so
Yep, Hanu actually is having her fist out. She has one palm out, her left palm out, and then a fist cocked backwards right by her ear, and she's just waiting. She's already in kind of like a kneeling stance. Ready to spring. She just waits. Does anybody come down the stairs?
you hear footsteps down through the alley. It's towards like your ring of light makes it harder to even see past it, right? So as like you get the steps approaching before you can even see anyone, here. Easy now. I was just coming here.
You're a robot.
You're roboting really hard.
Oh, is there a chance?
I think so, yes.
Okay.
In a second.
Yeah.
It's gotta finish roboting before I can.
Yeah.
I find out. Hear me now. That was the question.
Yeah, I can hear you.
So, as you see, or rather you hear the sound of these approaching footsteps, seemingly enough, once more, you hear this voice come out from the other side that you're not familiar with. They go, I was looking for a friend of mine. After her place blew up, figured this would be the other place that she would go. Only she's not a ghost.
Wait, what? She looks over to whoever
You
this is.
see, I'm gonna walk out of the shadows, but please, they shoot me or turn me into anything. You see stepping out of the shadows, this halfling with like a long trench coat. He's got a cigar, and which as he kind of pulls out a hooked hand on his other hand, he clips the edge of the cigar off and stamps out the ember underneath his foot and holds his hands up in front.
She just looks confused for a moment. But he
His
said,
name is Caius.
"Oh. Okay, I have slightly heard that name being uttered by her before, but how do you know Babs? And that I only know one person who would call her that. I'm pretty sure she would be very insulted that you did right now."
That's precisely the reason that I do it.
Oh, boy. Wait. Are you her enemy? And I raise
No.
my fist up a little bit
wait.
higher.
We go way back. Mutual work acquaintances slash, some might say friends.
Okay.
Abs is a little hard to get close to.
I'm pretty sure that's a thing that comes with the territory.
That it does.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of the territory, you may have overheard something about robbing a museum.
I'm gonna lean over to Fee and be like, I know Nana's very powerful, but she really needs to make sure she has better security of this place. And before she straightens herself up, yes,
Oh.
a museum. And just in case, I will just kind of hover a little bit closer to Fee, just putting myself between the both of us.
Assuming Abs isn't around.
No, she had to leave because of the incident that happened. And should I
Keen of her.
assume that you were involved in that? And how involved were you?
Barely made it out with my life. But I figured I narrowly made it out with my life. He probably coasted on through. Like it was not a problem at all.
Okay.
If so, this is where she would be. Makes sense that she would already be on her way out of town. However, that being the case, couldn't help but notice that if you really look like the thieving types, and since you happen to be friends of a friend of mine, I think perhaps I could offer you a little bit of advice. Not saying I'm going to get my own hands dirty, I don't work for free. But I might be able to help you know what the difference between a good plan and that's not a plan at all.
Why, that is much obliged. She will straighten up her shoulders and kind of make herself appear a little bit bigger than she is. People who are very desperate to help others out are either trying to right a wrong, or they're about to make a big plan to get others kind of to take the fall.
Oh no, I'm just enjoying the ability to be able to have her owe me a favor, her not be here to be part of the agreement.
And what would happen if I say no to this?
And you would very likely end up behind a Valiant jail cell. Being heroes of the realm and all that probably wouldn't look so good.
But I have not done any attempt to make this heist, so if we just decide not to do this, What information are you gonna... Well, are you kind of strong-arming me right now?
Oh, no. If you're not going to be doing it, then wouldn't need my advice now, would you?
Yeah, but
I've
then...
overheard it on my way of checking on a dear friend of mine. Viciousness is a common trait in your group, isn't it?
Of course. Of course. And I just want to make sure to see if he, seems to want to be doing harm either to the bed or not. I'll be like,
Give me an
listen...
investigation check. Or an
I
insight
was like,
check.
oh boy, I gotta go look through his coat.
I am freaking out
You
right now.
see through his illusion.
Yeah, okay. Listen,
Oh, thank God.
He seems to be legit. I mean, looking at him, he looks like a guy that greater years for a while and several bottles. And he's got really bad, neck beard, 5 o'clock shadow, something going on. He's got this little kind of stained coat, but underneath the coat you can kind of see that he's got like pretty decent leather worked gear, a leather like sling and pouch underneath it. He looks pretty rough for wear, but you can tell that he's not as rough for wear as he lets himself, or as he appears to be, right? But as far as you can tell, he does seem to be genuine. He seems to be like somebody that. But mostly, what you're getting out of this is that Babette has shady ass friends. But this person does appear to actually be a friend of hers.
she will slowly walk around, kind of like a shark. Just leisurely, not paying attention to, like, the person on a surfboard above it, but just making its presence known. Here's the one thing.
What you need is a parent. That would be here, but she's not, so... You don't realize, being from out of town and all, is that time is only allowed if people are making a cut. And you need to have that in mind. You're stealing something for yourselves, for noble purposes, or otherwise. You need to steal something else that you can trade, keep others on the end. A parent will make sure that happens gravy rum. Gravy rum isn't a baby's bum, smooth alike.
You're very eager to say information. What did you say that got her in trouble?
I believe that you're a very suspicious person.
No, here's the one
It's
thing.
understandable in this line of work. Commendable, even. The realms of rationalism tend to just get down to the brass tacks and make sure that we have an egress plan. It's actually E in parent. An acronym, mind you. An, access, retrieval, egress, remember that one, navigation, and a trade.
Okay, that's nice and all, but cut the bullshit you're rambling. You're very eager to help her out.
Haven't met me long enough to know that rambling is all I ever do.
Yes, but you're very eager to help her out right now, even though she is out of town. You seem very concerned about her well-being. You do seem to drink. You're very well off. I feel like your lips have been a little loose over the years. So did you say something that caused this to happen? Accidentally, and you're trying to right that wrong.
Whole place going blowing up.
Yeah, of course.
And mind you, I happen to have been in there.
Mm-hmm. I think you know how bad this looks like on your end.
thinking it looks like jack shit.
Of course.
Hey,
Are you trying to convince me or yourself that you're trying to do the right thing?
I'm trying to convince myself. Whether or not this is going to make it funnier or not, I'm looking at you from the other side of a jail cell. Don't forget that I didn't offer.
Oh, I didn't
Perhaps
say
that I said hi.
I'm not taking the offer. I'm just trying to see that you just came into some property right now of a friend of mine here. And another friend of mine just skipped town. So I've had a
Property
pretty...
of a friend of yours. Oh. Not as keen as I thought you were. Mind. Babs said, stopped by for tea.
Mm-hmm. Tea usually means many things in different cultures, so, of course, sit down.
He's already walking on out.
I said sit down.
He's still walking.
Gosh dang it. I'll walk out. With him.
Hands up to the top. So you're like trying to keep like right on his heels.
Yep.
He was a couple of paces ahead of
She
you.
is. She's gonna dash if
keep
she
up
needs
on
to.
his heels. He's heading up to the top.
No, yeah, she's keeping up with
He's
him. Okay,
leapt up
listen.
onto the ledge.
Fine. You know how to make a deal. Let's talk about this further.
Lights a cigar. It was your version of a shakedown. Usually, to be angling for something. Not exactly sure on what you were angling for. But say this much. We're fishing in the wrong river. And he walks off the ledge. But I won't hold it against you. All fish get fatter the further downstream they go. He's gonna lead you back down towards where Lib was kind of overlooking with the plans of the museum that had been laid out. And the he kind of like looks up and then looks right back down at the plans like really quickly, and Lib goes, "Oh, so we are working with the boozy alcoholic. Perfect."
Well, unless we have an end with thieves, it's not gonna get done. Anytime soon. But this guy, she nods over to him. Definitely is keeping his cards close to the vest. Anything else you want to offer? She glances over to
As
him.
far as that goes, I could take a look over these plans, yeah? And three of you could decide on sort of plan fits your particular skill set. Every team works differently. What works best for you. And if you go ahead and roll a 3.
Wait, what was that? Just roll one.
Yeah, it's just 1d3.
Okay, /R 1d3.
Yep.
Two.
All right. As you do it, you hear echo out through, and the flames of the candles kind of flicker for a moment. As he asks you that question, you hear this, these 3 caws kind of break out from nowhere. And as it does, you've got either charisma, agility, or wit that is able to be used as your trump card based off of this roll. 2 people rolled C's, Lib and Fee for the 1, and you would have agility as the 2. This means that at some point in the plan, when it comes to an agility check, you can just choose to succeed that section.
Okay.
Agility is encompassing athletics and acrobatics. It's just a different type of approach.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to share something with you as you guys go over the planning section of this. With some roles to determine how each of the sections of that plan go. But we'll go over that plan throughout the week.
All right.
Is the answer, which is where here that works. All right. So each section of the parent outline for bank heists, you will roll a d3. That will determine, each of you will roll a d3. And that will determine whether or not you were stuck having to approach that as an individual with either charisma, agility, or intelligence. And this pretty much boils down to whether or not it is a social scenario, like a exploration stealth thing, or wit, which is a clever way of subverting both of those.
Okay.
It really kind of boils down to rock, paper, scissors, right? With wit beating agility, agility beating charm, charm beating wit. As far as what this means at each point in time, we'll go over throughout the week. But needless to say, you spend the rest of the evening planning out each section of this. So I do want to go ahead and roll these d3s just to see how they're running. Go ahead and roll me another d3 for access. Oh. Gonna be able to make sure that we have a way of being able to get into the estate. Access. One of the most important keys out there. If you're really good at talking, this is where Babs usually comes in. Showcase. Be able to really shine in this part.
Wow. She'll just.
However, wit only gets you so far as access goes. And so you rolled wit, which unfortunately means that if you were to do that scenario, your rolls would be at disadvantage unless end up coming up with clever things to counteract the disadvantage while in it.
Yeah. She would actually just have gestured over to Libby, saying, "Oh, she's more of the talker than I."
3. Whoops. That I will say was Fee, and /R1D3. Charisma. All right. So Lib gets in for the charisma, and now go ahead and give me another 1d3. This one for retrieval. At the end of the day, it really comes down to how I'm gonna grab it.
All right. 2.
You could be quick-like about it, and there's never anything wrong with that approach. And that was V. Or sometimes the best heists are the ones that were solved with a bit of clever thinking, the ones that no one saw coming. But as well, also gets that one. That means when it comes down to it, you can change this once it gets to each stage, right? But when it comes down to it, whoever's got rolls that are at advantage are going to be better off doing that scene.
Okay.
And what they rolled will determine what kind of scene they're doing.
Okay.
And so now we are off to egress. Next part. This is certain something you're all quite familiar with. Doing a quick exit strategy. You have to know how you're gonna egress. And go ahead and roll me a d3.
Cool.
3.
That one is flat, so it's not the worst one. Another one rolled for wit. And another one for wit. So, as far as the egress goes, you have neither advantage nor disadvantage.
Better than
you guys are putting 3 heads together to try and think of a clever way out of there, potentially. Each 3 come up with some pretty clever solutions on how you could make some quick exit strategies out of there. And so you end up with multiple escape routes. Which ones you end up being able to take, we'll see when it gets to it.
Okay.
But you all know what you would do in that scenario. And now for navigation. Of course, you have to have your getaway. Person that knows the city like the back of their hand. Or at least for you to have practiced the route on the way there. Or if you're trying to rely just on the quickness of your own feet, you might just end up running in the wrong direction.
Mm-hmm.
And go ahead and roll me a d3. Navigation. This one is a wit advantage.
Yeah. Nope.
Oof. That's agility.
She's not gonna do that.
Another one as well.
Can I go charm?
Oh.
Can I charm the water?
Oh, no.
Like,
Yeah.
could I use?
This is where I felt like the struggle was gonna be in the getaway too.
The
How
getaway.
Well, one thing is because
Oh no, agility.
Well-
God.
well, here's the
We
one
have
thing,
2 arms and an agility.
because Hanu does have navigation proficiency with her coat, as well as she can have control water and shit. Can I try to do her her divine channel divinity to see if she can rethink this again? Because she has some options.
In this case, no, not really. This is the result of having had like multiple checks and conversations throughout the day, and You were already kind of divining yourself throughout this thing in general, probably. This is just the overarching thing. When you get down into the plan itself, there are still its own individual chances.
Okay.
Not only that, but as far as navigation goes, charisma is still flat because you could talk somebody into giving you a ride, right?
Okay.
Dexterity is the disadvantage because just trying to run away from it is not the best way of getting out of there. Intelligence is the best one because it involves neither having to convince anybody on the fly nor running. So you have two people at that point that are potentially able to be at least rolling flat and who are good at charisma at that. So
Okay.
it's not a bad one to have had it on. And you still have trade, which is never robbing or stealing from any section here. He explains throughout that people are going to know about it, right? There's no way of getting around that in this town. When crime happens, people know who did it, and he can have that mostly be on him, and also it be associated with a people that you can trade with that will make sure that y'all's individual names are never brought up in this, right? The goods will appear on their market and they won't say anything, right? And so in this case, roll me another d3. Of course, always want to make sure that whenever you're doing that final deal, they're not trying to also take your cut.
Of course. I think I get disadvantage with that, right? With agility.
With agility, it is actually yes. Yes, disadvantage. But we have 1 and a 3. So we have charisma with Lib, and we have wit with B.
Okay.
All right. That being noted, that is where we will leave that off and pick up that throughout the rest of the week. For its for its shenanigans.
Chance, you motherfucker.
Hey, Bud, you ever get the feeling that something bad's gonna happen by the end of this week? You know, I just had this promotion. You know, we were told at the beginning of this whole like adventure not to split the party. We kind of split the party. I wonder if that's gonna turn around.
Fuck yes, this is great. I am.
That was honestly, I was like so happy what was happening right that moment when the guy showed up. I was like, yes.
A solid 50% of that whole conversation, I was just screaming.
Oh my god, man!
I was always just entering into people's places.
No, right? Like a skip bag.
Like such a dirtbag too, right? Like he's just nothing about him. You're like, and he's